the magician in the world of Doraemon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 751 Prelude. Yu and Dazzy stood up from the ruins nearby, kicked his feet hard at the same time, and rushed towards Zero Z like a cannonball. Bang! Yu and Dazzy's body hit Zero Z's head hard. Why don't you wake up quickly, bastard? Even though Zero Z's body had been strengthened, he could not be Yu and Dazzy's opponent without any strengthening magic, and was knocked away hard. The two bodies rolled into a ball, and after crashing into a large number of trees and streetlights, they rolled on the ground for several rounds before stopping. Dazzy-kun is entangled with him. D-Mushin barely stood up. I have to recover quickly, and then go to help. At this time, Nobita had set up a sniper rifle next to him, and the Croshers had already begun to aim at the head of the purple monster, intending to kill it with one shot. Don't shoot. D-Mushin stopped him. Nobita, that's Zero Z. Don't rush to shoot, things may turn around. Zero Z. Nobita was stunned, and the others were confused. They seemed to really not know who Zero Z was. You mean the little devil that Yuan raised? But why is he here? Although he was very surprised, Nobita still kept his gun close to Zero Z. It seemed that the little devil had lost his rationality. If he was left alone, everyone present might be in danger. Izuku felt the wound on his body. The healing speed was very slow. The claw just now sent Zero Z's energy into the wound. No. Izuku frowned as he felt the wound. In addition to the power of destruction, there seems to be other powers. If the power of destruction wants to destroy everything, then the other power wants everything to decay and die. He has felt these two somewhat similar energies on those zombies, but they are not as strong as those on Zero Z. Zero Z must have been contaminated by the power of that god. Izuku began to gather his mental power. If we launch a mental attack, it may be able to wake it up. The third magic circle is damaged, and since the life structure has changed, the world's suppression of me has been decreasing every moment. Thinking of this, a white blade suddenly extended from Izuku's hand. Then my Horcrux should be usable. Then the mental power was like a stapler, gluing the wounds on his body together, which restored his ability to move. Anyway, he has lost most of his pain now, so it doesn't matter if he is a little strict with himself. The pain is at most just like being punched by someone. Nobita, you can help if you see the situation. After Izuku disappeared, his voice remained in the same place. I'll go help you and Daisy first. Nobita understood what he meant, and the muzzle of the gun was once again aimed at the purple figure moving rapidly on the field, ready to pull the trigger at any time. Yu and Daisy opened Zero Z's claws with a punch, and then hit him on the chin with an uppercut, stopping it from biting. During this process, Yu and Daisy constantly mobilized his magic power to test whether the magic ban was still effective. However, every time the magic power was halfway through, it would suddenly run away. Now he still couldn't cast any spells. But this was actually good news for him, because it also meant that Zero Z couldn't use spells either, and even the most basic use was difficult. What? Haven't you woken up yet? Yu and Daisy punched Zero Z in the face again. Remember who you are. The force of this punch was so great that even the soul began to tremble after hitting the head, making it temporarily dizzy. Good opportunity. Yu and Daisy quickly gave way in front of him. Yunkei, now it's up to you. A figure quickly appeared at the position where Yu and Daisy was just now, and at the same time, the white light had already inserted into the Deo seal on Zero Z's forehead. Raw. The center of the eyebrows was broken by the Horcrux, and the pain caused by this went straight to the soul, but it also destroyed part of the seal left by the enemy on the soul. At this moment, Zero Z's eyes revealed confusion again, and its own will began to awaken again. At the same time, Yu and Daisy injected his spiritual power into the other's soul through the blade, trying to awaken the contract between the two. The memory of living next to Yu and Daisy finally began to awaken, and it remembered a happy time, the days without any oppression and intrigue. Zero Z gently put down his paws, and his eyes became clear again, no longer feeling pain and confusion. Damn it. An old man stomped his feet. What the hell is this contract? I spent so much time, and I still Can't seal it completely. The picture sent back by Zio's eyes gradually disappeared, and he had to put on his cloak. It seems that I have to do it myself. Zio, you finally remembered? Yu and Daisy touched Zio's head, and Zio rubbed his face with her head affectionately. Chumushin also relaxed, walked up to him and said, hurry up and destroy this last magic circle, so that we can go back. Okay, since the God Clan hasn't come out yet, he can only be considered lucky. Yu and Daisy walked to the magic circle, and took out the blood bottle that he had prepared long ago. This blood was the blood that flowed after he was shot by the spike before. There was a lot of destructive energy inside, which would be more effective in destroying the magic circle. Just as he was about to pour the blood on the key magic pattern, a black and purple energy flame suddenly attacked from the sky. Not good. Chumushin knew that they could no longer escape from the range of the explosion. After discovering this ball of energy, Yu and Daisy also looked at the flames in the sky. The space around him seemed to be fixed. Every move was very laborious, not to mention escaping. Yu and Daisy had no other choice but to release all his mental power to block in front of him, although he knew that this little energy was just a mantis trying to stop a chariot. At this moment, another extremely powerful mental power suddenly merged into his barrier and resisted the attack with him. Izuki. Yu and Daisy turned around and looked at Izuki. Are you crazy? Your body will definitely not be able to bear it. Facing his question, Izuki just smiled. Don't worry about me, I will definitely survive. As he spoke, the flames had already landed on the open space, and the purple flames were blocked by the barrier created by Yu and Daisy and Izuki. And Izuki next to him just smiled at the attacking flames, as if these flames did not exist, and he didn't take it seriously at all. Just before he was about to be engulfed by the flames, another purple figure finally broke through the restraints and blocked in front of Izuki. The next moment, the purple-black flames completely submerged their figures, and the powerful energy flow turned the surrounding trees, flowers, and plants into dust. Chapter 752. Die Together. When the purple-black flames began to dissipate, he quickly went to where the two were. Ahem. Hey, are you two okay? His body was protected by the combined mental power of the two people and was not injured, but the consequences of the two people without protection were imaginable. The surrounding flames in front of him were suddenly dispersed by a mental power, revealing Zio's body that had been burned black. At this time, Zio's vital signs were very weak, but it curled up its body, as if protecting something important. Zio's. Yu and Daisy rushed in front of him, and gently patted its face. Hey, are you okay? Wake up. Zio's opened its eyes with all its strength, and its only remaining eye saw the shadow of Yu and Daisy, and the corners of its already distorted mouth slightly curled up. Then it stretched its body with all its strength, revealing Chumushin, who was intact inside his body. I told you that I can survive. Why didn't you listen? Chumushin leaned his hands on Zio's body, and he had clearly prepared a backup plan. As long as he stayed quietly in the barrier built by the two of them, everyone would be fine. At this time, an old voice came from above. What a touching friendship. Why don't I take you both off, so you won't be lonely on the road? Two purple rays of light penetrated Zio's already burnt body and hit Yu and Daisy and Chumushin heavily. A huge explosion echoed in the empty street. The wave of fire separated the three people present and smashed several cracks on the ground. Yu and Daisy covered his burnt chest and stood up with all his strength. The last enemy finally showed up. A figure slowly fell from the sky, with purple flames lingering on his body. Half of his face was decayed, and he was already very old. I didn't kill you directly? It seems that my injuries are too severe. I can't even deal with you two children. After seeing the situation below clearly, the old god shook his head slightly, very dissatisfied with the results of the continuous attack just now. But it's not much different. The old man's hand gathered purple flames again. Now let me get to know you. At the critical moment of life and death, a blood-red beam of light suddenly flew out from the room not far away and went straight to the old man's face. At this critical moment, Nobita finally put aside all his usual respect for the old man and pulled the trigger at the old man's face. Caught off guard, a trace of panic flashed on his face, and at the same time, he used his hands to block his face, hoping to slightly block the beam. Just as the beam was about to hit his face, the cloak behind the old man showed magic patterns to block the attack. What? Nobita was so scared that he stood up. Izuki's technology gun can't break the defense? What on earth is this? Zayashi sighed secretly behind him. He said that the reason why he hadn't used these things in actual combat was because the weapons were not powerful enough. And this guy's cloak looks like a very powerful defensive magic device, and the technology gun is even less likely to break the defense. If he could use his mental power to make weapons without restraint outside, then it would be hard to say whether this gun could break through the defense. The old man was also scared and broke into a cold sweat. I thought I was going to die, and I forgot about the cloak on me. He shook the tattered cloak. See, kid, although this thing is a little rotten, it was once a level 5 defensive magic weapon, no worse than that woman's cloak. While speaking, his eyes were always on Yu and Azuki. He knew that this guy had a magic weapon, but it was sealed by the magic circle. Damn it. Yu and Azuki gritted his teeth in anger. If you have the courage to fight outside, see how I deal with you. Humph, do you think I will give you a chance? The old man chuckled, and the flames on his hands gathered again, not giving him any chance to breathe. At this moment, he suddenly found that the light around him became dim, as if something huge blocked the sunlight. Roar. Before he could react at all, the scarred Zayashi grabbed him fiercely with his claws. Asshole, what are you doing? The god suddenly felt a palpitation. He didn't want to bear the beast's dying counterattack. Zayashi hugged it to his chest, used his claws to control him, and roared in a low voice, "Let's die together." No, don't. In his desperate cry, a red light emanated from Zayashi's body. It took the initiative to destroy the altar constructed in its body, allowing the soul and magic power to become one. Just for this attack, a violent red light filled the vision of everyone present, and anything that touched the material would be destroyed by this energy. When everyone regained their vision again, they saw that they were standing in front of the arbitrary door, and Yu and Azuki was about to go home to check the situation. Strange, why are you standing there, Yu and Azuki? Aren't you going back to see Zayashi? Dakshin walked to his side, but found that Yu and Azuki seemed to be crying, so he asked puzzledly, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong at home?" "Nothing, I just envy you a little bit." His words made everyone a little confused. The principle of the magic circle is to cut out everyone at the time when the door was opened. Now everyone has returned to the original world. Ordinary people cannot resist the power of time, so they will lose their memories. But everyone's physical state will be preserved. For example, at this time, Shizuka suddenly screamed in horror. "Ah, Daoshi, what happened to Daoshi? Why is there so much blood on his body?" Everyone's eyes were instantly focused on Daoshi. At this time, he was sitting in the original place, but there seemed to be a hole in his chest. "Daoshi." Chun-Cheng immediately threw away the things in his hand and ran to him and shouted, "What are you still standing there for? Call an ambulance and the police." The people around him woke up, as if from a dream, and hurriedly asked for help from nearby people, while Chun-Cheng knelt beside Daoshi, crying, "There is no way to save the dead." The voice of the soul-devouring monument appeared in his soul. "Your cultivation in time is far from enough, and now your power is not in you. There is no way to reverse it. Perhaps this is the fate of this child." Yu and Azuki nodded to show that he understood. "I want to take back my power. Can I do it now?" "No problem. Your body has almost recovered now. There is only a little energy left in you by Mulin, but it doesn't matter. I know." Yu and Azuki walked to Doraemon and asked, "By the way, can you use the time wrapping towel to try to restore him to his original state?" "I don't know about this question either, because I have never tried it." Doraemon took out the time wrapping towel with a triad mentality and put it on the sword attendant. The clock representing the past began to spin rapidly, but after a few turns, the clock suddenly got stuck in a position and could not move forward. It seems that it doesn't work. Yu and Azuki was not too surprised by this result. Although he didn't want to end in tragedy, he had no choice. Damn, useless props. Doraemon hit the time scarf hard. "What use do I have for you?" Who knew that the time scarf became disordered after this hit, and the clock began to turn wantonly, hitting that time point again and again. At the same time, lightning and smoke kept flashing on the time scarf, and it seemed to be about to explode. Oh no, everyone, get away. Doraemon hurriedly dragged Chuncheng, who was still kneeling beside him, away. No matter what, there can't be any more victims. The two ran a few steps, and the time scarf behind them exploded, and the wind and waves pushed all the people nearby out. Chapter 753, Taking Back the Power. Is everyone okay? Yu and Daisy use the natural magic pattern to create a breeze to blow away the smoke and dust, and then he could see everyone's situation clearly. Everyone was lying on the ground and coughing hard, and they kept spitting out a lot of sand and soil from their mouths, which were all eaten when they lay down just now. Who did it? An angry voice came from the side. Who put the bomb on my head? It's too much. Hearing this voice, everyone present stopped what they were doing and slowly looked at the source of the voice. Dayoshi was sitting on the stone just now, but there was a charred black color on his body, which was the mark left by the big explosion just now. At this time, Dayoshi still didn't know what happened and continued to roar. Who did it? Why? Why are you looking at me like this? He suddenly found that all these people's eyes were focused on him, which made him uncomfortable all over. Why are you looking at me like this? Do I look good? He lowered his head and looked at his clothes and found that he looked really funny now. Finally, he compromised helplessly. Okay, if you want to laugh, go ahead. I'll go back and change my clothes first. After saying that, he stood up and walked towards the hotel. Seeing that they didn't seem to be willing to hand over the prankster, he could only give up the pursuit. But after walking a few steps, someone behind him suddenly hugged him tightly, and his voice was a little choked. Great, I thought I would lose you forever. Although the voice was a little out of tune, he still recognized it. Chuncheng, what's wrong with you? Am I not fine? As soon as the voice fell, everyone present rushed forward, surrounded the sword servant in the middle, and everyone went over to give him a hug. Hey, what's wrong with you? He was a little uneasy in his heart, and judging from their reactions, it seemed that something terrible had just happened. No, nothing happened. Chuncheng put the hat on him. As long as nothing happened, it's enough. The banquet finally dispersed in laughter, and Doraemon had completely recovered the fragments of the time wrapping towel. I'm really lucky today. Doraemon looked at the moon in the sky. Fortunately, the swordsman is fine, but it's a pity for this prop. His time-sharing scarf has been damaged in the universe. The current prop was given to him by Doraemon. After all, Doraemon doesn't need it. Now the only two time-sharing scarves that have not been recycled in the future world have been completely damaged, and this taboo will completely become history. Doraemon, you are still here. Gian, and as he walked to his side and stretched out his hand to signal, can you lend me the anywhere door? I'll go back first. Well, but don't you want to play with it a little longer? Doraemon asked him while starting to take out the anywhere door in his pocket. Yu and Daisy nodded and said, yes, I can't waste time. If I can't get my power back as soon as possible, I will always feel uneasy. After that, he pushed open the anywhere door. You guys continue to play, and all the remaining expenses will be charged to me. I will reimburse you. Also, tell Chuncheng and the others not to spend their own money. Just say that I owe them, and now I'm just paying them back a little. After that, he walked into the anywhere door, gently closed it, and left Doraemon, who was confused. There. What a strange person. Doraemon touched his head and finally walked over and put the anywhere door back into his pocket. Yu and Daisy returned to the room and found that Izuki-chan was already waiting for him in the room with a large number of strange design drawings at hand. Are you awake? He walked to Zayashin. Then can you tell me now what happened to you? He looked at Izuki-chan's hands, which began to crack and then merged together like flowing water, looking very natural. I did a lot of research in that world, research that you don't know about, and the most valuable results are definitely not those weapons. As he spoke, a large number of grey bone spurs suddenly extended from his hands, and then quickly retracted, leaving no scars on his skin. I took a part of the zombie's body to study, but found that it maintained a delicate balance between three extreme energies. The two aggressive energies continued to destroy his genes, but the life energy continued to repair and reorganize it. Thanks to this process, I combined the collected energy and a large number of monster genes together and successfully found a gene sequence. At that time, my body was extremely weak, and I couldn't even continue to generate mental power. In order to survive, I had to inject a gene drug. As Izuki said, he took off one hand and put it on the ground. Then this hand actually began to frantically devour the surrounding matter to repair itself. Yu and Dazi shuddered when he saw this scene. This ability has exceeded the limit of zombies, right? Yes, it's another remaining power in my body that merged with them and underwent a second mutation, and the ability has become even more weird. But the good news is that I successfully preserved my self-awareness with the help of that power, and this is all I have left. After saying that, he picked up a pile of design drawings. I'm going to the warehouse downstairs. Don't disturb me for the next time. Chumushin's voice became very calm. I gave up my human identity thanks to the gods, and they must pay this debt. After saying that, Chumushin left the room, leaving Yu and Dazi alone in the room in a daze. Alas, what a sin. The spirit of the soul-devouring monument appeared in the room and sighed. We shouldn't have dragged him into this. They are in big trouble this time. Yu and Dazi also felt a little uncomfortable. If possible, I also hope that he and King Gayu can grow up normally and healthily. Impossible. You can't fight against the entire race alone. If you lose, it will only cause them more harm. Then Ling Feng's tone became very strange, and this is also a good thing for him, allowing him to directly avoid the biggest trouble of the spiritualist. Oh, what is the trouble of the spiritualist? Yu and Dazi looked at Ling Feng. He seemed to have never mentioned this matter. When a spiritualist reaches a certain realm, the strength of his mind and body is so terrifying that it will cause the body's ki and blood to degenerate step by step. Now his body is almost the most perfect body I have ever seen, and these troubles no longer exist. After speaking, a space crack appeared next to him, and a staff inlaid with sapphires was taken out of the space crack by him. Your companions are making progress, and you can't fall behind, right? Under the gaze of the soul-eating monument, Yu and Dazi was silent for a while, and finally stretched out his hands and tightly grasped the Archangel's staff. Chapter 754 Humans Learn to Think. Half a month later, in an ordinary bookstore, Nobita looked at the book in his hand and shouted angrily, "It's all Adam and Eve's fault. Why didn't they listen to God? If the two of them didn't do such stupid things, then I could live a leisurely and worry-free life now." Nobita looked at the shadow reflected on the book and swallowed silently. The sound he made just now seemed a little too loud. "You are the one. How can you read a book leisurely here? Don't you know that this will affect my business? Don't read if you don't want to buy." The uncle behind him took out a feather duster and slapped it twice in front of him. The dust raised made him unable to open his eyes. "Sorry, I'll leave right away." Nobita quickly put down the book in his hand, covered his eyes, and fled the scene coughing. The uncle was still not satisfied, looking at his back indignantly. "Come to my place again to read comics. Young people nowadays don't like to study at all." At this time, a boy came in from outside, walked up to the boss and asked, "Boss, do you have any books about relativity here?" This question confused him. "Well, we don't seem to have such advanced books here. How about looking at something else?" "TSK, don't even have such basic books." The little boy sighed in great disappointment, then turned and left the bookstore. What kind of people are the kids nowadays? The uncle was so angry that he threw the feather duster on the ground. "This guy is here to embarrass me on purpose. His bookstore is basically open for children. How could there be such fantasy things? Which child would read it?" So the boss could only blame the matter on the child just now, who must have deliberately come to trouble him and avenge the child just now. On the way back, Deki was very distressed. "What should I do? I walked all over the town, but couldn't find the theory of relativity. I didn't expect that one day I would have to find such a basic theory to review. It seems that I have to take some time to go to downtown Tokyo." After that, he went home first, planning to take some money to take the tram to Tokyo to find books. His research cannot be delayed for too long. As for Yu and Daisuke, the two of them basically didn't communicate during this period. He was doing research, while Yu and Daisy was recovering his strength. "Oh, I'm hungry again. Deki covered his stomach and was very dissatisfied. The amount of food I eat every day now is really terrible. Because after the sublimation of his life form, his desire for life energy has become more and more intense, and even ordinary segmented insects can't satisfy him. As a mature and perfect life form, he will have to learn to hunt independently in the future. However, after this period of training, he has become more and more proficient in controlling his body and has developed many new abilities. On the way home, Nobita happened to meet Doraemon, who came to find him, and the two of them chatted while walking. Nobita, you've been in the bookstore for so long, but you haven't found a topic for free research. Summer vacation has been over for almost a month. Doraemon looked at him with half-closed eyes. You didn't go to the bookstore to look at comic books for an afternoon, and then said you didn't find anything? How could it be? Am I that kind of person? I'm seriously looking for my own research topic. Okay. Don't slander me casually. When Nobita spoke, he was strong on the outside, but weak on the inside, and the guilty conscience in it could be clearly heard by outsiders, not to mention Doraemon. But he was too lazy to expose it, and suggested, okay, since you don't have a plan for the time being, then go ask your classmates. At this moment, Izuku ran up from behind Nobita, which made their eyes light up. Izuku must have a research topic. Mr. Izuki. Doraemon called him loudly. Can you wait a moment? We have something to ask you. Zayashi, who was running, did not stop, but turned back and said, I'm busy now, you can go ask him later. Ask him? Who is this? Hey, Izuki, why are you running so fast? The two kept calling from behind, but he acted as if he didn't hear. Finally, Nobita put his hands in his pockets angrily. Really, it's just a good grade. Look how proud he is. Okay, let's go ask everyone first. Doraemon took his hand and started walking towards his friend's house. Nobita was still angry and broke free from Doraemon's hand. I don't want to. There is no point in imitating others. Wait, I must find a research topic that belongs to me and surprise you. After that, he left alone. Looking at Nobita's back, Doraemon felt a little worried, but seeing that he was so ambitious, it might not be a bad thing. If Nobita can really find a suitable free research topic completely by himself, then he will still do his best to support him to do it. Even if he doesn't find any topic, he has already made a perfect retreat for Nobita. After thinking of this, Doraemon was relieved. Just do it. I will definitely support you, Nobita. Then his expression flashed wildly and turned into an expression that he thought was encouraging, and he gave a thumbs up to Nobita's back. However, Nobita, who had not walked far, became distressed. Summer vacation is already halfway through, and it will be really troublesome if I don't find a topic. Why do I have to do these annoying things? It's all Adam and Eve's fault. Nobita kicked the stone away angrily. Leaving the commercial street, Nobita was still complaining. It's all because they stole the forbidden fruit and angered God. Otherwise, humans must be living well in the Garden of Eden now, and there wouldn't be so many annoying things. Nobita, you are wrong. A lively voice suddenly came from the side, which scared him. After he looked back and saw who was coming, he shouted in surprise, Izuki? Didn't you have something to do and had to leave just now? How come you are free now? Something to do? How is that possible? I've always been free. By the way, you said just now that you were so busy because it was Adam and Eve's fault, but that's not necessarily true. They were tempted by the snake transformed by Satan to eat the forbidden fruit. From this point of view, the one who was wrong was actually Satan. And the so-called reason why God didn't want them to eat the forbidden fruit was because humans who ate the forbidden fruit would think. When he mentioned the word God, Izuki gritted his teeth, and the God of creation is actually the one who doesn't want to see people think the most. I see. So what were you busy with just now? Nobita didn't care what God thought, he only cared about the people around him. This question. By the way, didn't you say you had something to ask me? Izuki quickly diverted the topic. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 755. Enthusiastic Demotion. When this matter was mentioned, Nobita's thoughts returned to the free research during the holiday. Izuki, what did you write for your free research during the holiday? Oh, so that's what you want to talk about. Izuki held Nobita's hand. Let's go. I'll tell you when we get to my house. I know, don't pull me. Nobita tried to break free from Izuki's hand, but he found that the difference in strength between the two was too great. So he had no choice but to follow behind Izuki, and at the same time secretly felt heartache for his right hand. Strange, why is Izuki so weird today? Nobita thought while secretly crying out in pain. I always feel that he has become so lively, I'm not used to it. From the outside, Izuki is indeed the same person, but the personality of the Izuki I met before and after is too different. Not long after, Nobita was pulled into the room by him, and then Izuki took out a scroll and placed it in front of him. Nobita was immediately excited when he saw the ancient red scroll. Oh my god, are you doing research on ninjutsu? Mr. Izuki, you and Eiji are both superpowers. Does ninjutsu really exist? Are you going to give it to me? Zayanshin shook his head. Unfortunately, we have never been exposed to ninjutsu, so we don't know. But Taoism does exist. As he spoke, he opened the red scroll and spread the ancient paper flat on the table, showing what he wrote on it. I have been observing the stars before. This is the trajectory of the star during this period of time. I recorded them all. Nobita looked at the star map on the paper. Each picture was filled with constellations and various stars with names marked on it, and one of the stars was specially marked with a red pen. The recent trajectory of this star was the subject of his free research. Drawing a star map is really not easy. Izuki also said with some emotion, when can humans really set foot in the starry sky? They did go there many times before, and even survived on alien planets, but these are too fantasy for humans now. If they hadn't dragged him on adventures every time, then his future goal would probably just be to visit other planets, right? But now that he has seen more, his goal is naturally higher. He hopes to take all of humanity to the stars. Nobita smiled awkwardly. Forget it, Izuku. You know I'm a bit dumb. Is there any research that I can understand? Then I'll show you Yuan does his. He doesn't pay much attention to his homework, so he just picked a topic to get by. After saying that, Izuku took out another blue scroll and placed it in front of Nobita. After unfolding it, he found that there were a bunch of strange words inside. And as he had already finished it before you went on the trip. This is a sampling survey he conducted on the water quality of that river. As Izuku said this, he handed the scroll to Nobita, asking him to take a good look at the information on it. Maybe he would get some inspiration. And the date was written on each record, so there was no need to worry about the embarrassment of others researching the same topic, but with different results. Nobita still couldn't understand the pile of data on it. He could only understand whether the water quality of the river at each stage was good or bad. The other chemical names were like a mystery. In the end, he had to return the scroll to Izuku. I'm sorry, the level difference between us is too big. I'd better find a way myself. At this time, Nobita suddenly remembered something. By the way, it seems that I haven't seen Yuan Dazi for a while. Where is he? He's up there now. Izuku pointed to the training room above. Yuan Dazi has been squatting in it for a long time. Since he picked up the Archangel's stuff again some time ago, he has been staying in it and has not come out. It seems that he is adapting to the power again. Nobita stood up and prepared to say goodbye. Thank you for the method you provided me. I will ask other people. Maybe there is one that suits me. Hey, don't go. We can think of other ways. Izuku stretched out his hand to try to keep him, as if he wanted to help. Who knew that this time Nobita was well prepared? When he stretched out his hand, he ran out of the door and left here quickly. Watching his back as he walked away, Chumashin smiled helplessly. This kid is really too much. He actually refused my help. Although I had expected this, it's really unpleasant to be rejected by others. What do you think? As soon as the voice fell, Chumashin suddenly walked out from the shadows in the corners of the room, saying in unison, it's because you are too enthusiastic that you scared others. They are all clones created by Chumashin during this period. As his control over his body has increased, he can already do this. He did this in the world where time stopped before. Even if his body was destroyed, the flesh ball split from the other side would reabsorb nutrients and give him a new life. It's a pity that Zyrozy didn't know it at that time, otherwise their results might be different. As long as a part of his split soul is placed in these bodies will have the ability to act independently. However, because the placed souls are slightly different, the personality of each Chumushin will also be different. The enthusiastic Zyashin saw these Chumushins with different expressions, smiled and waved his hand, then picked up a comic book and sat down to read it. Forget it, it's not important. Anyway, our mission is just to wait for the master to come back, so let's go, do our own things. As soon as the voice fell, the others turned out a test bench from the corner of the room, picked up the instruments on it, and began to continue research. His goal is to make something that can really threaten the sun god. The project they are currently researching is dark energy. As for the energy sample, it was made for them by Yu and Dazi through the Sword of Stars. This energy can effectively suppress the light of the sun god. But unfortunately, it is too difficult to analyze energy now, so it is difficult to make this treasure for the sun god. But they are not too anxious. Judging from the previous situation, the current state of the sun god is not much better. Whether it is his life form or mental strength, he has exceeded his peak period, and his combat power has only increased compared to before. As for Yu and Dazi, he has taken back everything that belongs to him, and is now trying to engrave the law of nature on his own talisman. However, the difficulty of adding an extra law seems to exceed their expectations, so he has been staying in the training room during this period. According to the information sent back by the old man, he is now about to succeed and can engrave the law of nature within today. The hardships that did not defeat them will only allow them to absorb nutrients from them, continue to grow, and become stronger than before. Looking at the people who were constantly researching, Izuku was also relaxed a lot. Sun God, I wonder if you'll be surprised when we meet next time. After Nobita ran out of the door, he half crouched at their door and panted, I didn't expect Izuku classmate to be so enthusiastic. I still like him the way he was before. But soon he put the matter of Izuku aside, reorganized his mood and walked forward. Forget it, then I'll go see Shizuka's experimental project now. Shizuka will definitely help me. Chapter 756 Shameless Person. Oh, you mean free research? I'm still doing it now. Shizuka pointed to the 2 pots of morning glory at the door and said, look, this is my research topic. Nobita tilted his head and looked at the morning glory in front of him. He couldn't figure out what was so good about these 2 plants. I'm studying the effects of different light and humidity on the growth of morning glory, and then I just record a little bit of data every day. Although it's very ordinary and simple, it's also a good research topic. Do you want me to give you some seeds, Nobita? Nobita waved his hands again and again. Forget it, it's a bit late to start now. I'll ask other people for any suggestions. Okay, I hope you can finish this project as soon as possible. Shizuka didn't say anything more, holding a notebook and a pen, and watching him leave here. Nobita walked out of the door and said to himself, really? Why are everyone's projects so profound? And isn't it boring to watch a flower grow all day long? Is there something simple and interesting? When crossing the bridge, Nobita saw the river running through the town and immediately remembered the project that Yu and Dazi used casually. The water quality of the river? Nobita looked at the unchanging water flow below and sighed helplessly. I still can't see anything. He continued to walk forward under the summer sun. Now the only places he could go were Fat Tiger's house and Sunia's house. He didn't know if he could gain anything. Soon, he stood in front of Fat Tiger's door and shouted, is Fat Tiger there? I want to ask you something. Soon, Fat Tiger, who was wearing a pair of shorts, came out to open the door. Nobita? Why do you suddenly want to see me now? It's like this. I just want to ask you what the topic of your free research is. Because the summer vacation is already halfway through, but I haven't done my homework yet. What? Free research topic. When it comes to this, Fat Tiger is more nervous than him, and even his hair stands up in fear. Then Fat Tiger hugged his head and shouted in collapse, I finally had a happy summer vacation. Why do you want me to remember this? Hey, even you didn't write it? A smile gradually appeared on Nobita's face. It seems that someone will be scolded with him. Asshole, it's all your fault. Fat Tiger grabbed Nobita's collar. If you hadn't reminded me, there wouldn't be so many things. Nobita was shocked instantly. Can such a thing be blamed on him? How can there be such a shameless person in the world? Watch out. When Fat Tiger's fist was about to hit his face, Nobita tried his best to open his hand and dodge the iron fist. Damn it, don't dodge. Fat Tiger was still chasing him, and Nobita hurriedly ran forward. Only a fool would not dodge your fist. The two chased and fled like this, and the scorching sun quickly made their faces covered with sweat, but neither of them planned to stop. Not long after, Nobita's physical strength was the first to run out. Fat Tiger behind him seized the opportunity and suddenly accelerated and grabbed Nobita. Haha, Nobita, just accept your fate. Let me see how you run now. After saying that, he lifted Nobita above his head. Help, help. Hey, what is that? Nobita wanted to struggle, but he suddenly saw something strange in the sky. It seemed to be a red balloon, and there seemed to be a small envelope at the bottom of the rope. I don't know what was inside, but Fat Tiger didn't care. Nobita, do you think you can distract me like this? You are so naive. No, Fat Tiger, you will know if you look at it yourself. There are really strange things floating in the sky. Seeing him say this, Fat Tiger temporarily put down his attention on Nobita and focused his attention on the sky. He also saw the strange red balloons. It's true. Curiosity drove Fat Tiger to put down Nobita. I wonder where these balloons are floating from. At this time, another red balloon floated over from the direction just now, and the two ran towards the source together in tacit understanding. Not long after, they stopped and screamed at the same time. Sunia's house. The balloons floated out of Sunia's house. While talking, another red balloon floated out of Sunia's yard, which completely confirmed their thoughts. In order to find out, the two had to walk into Sunia's yard together, and found that Sunia was constantly releasing balloons in the yard. Sunia, what are you doing? Nobita and Fat Tiger ran to Sunia. Why are you releasing so many red balloons? When talking about this, Sunia's face became more complacent. Because this is the subject of my free research during the summer vacation, I will use balloons to observe the wind direction of the day, and then record the wind direction and wind strength every day as a summer research homework. But how do you know the wind strength and direction through balloons? Nobita looked at the balloons in his hand, his eyes full of confusion. Is it possible to know all this just through balloons? Then he might try to do this research. Then it depends on this letter. Sunia held a balloon in front of them. This letter contains a special phone card. After receiving the phone card, many people will write back or call me to express their gratitude, and then I can calculate the data through the address. What? How much does this cost? Nobita and Fat Tiger were shocked again. A phone card costs at least thousands of yen, right? Yes, it does cost a lot. Sunia disagreed, but as long as I can finish my homework, I don't have to worry about these. At this moment, the two of them finally realized what it meant to be rich and do whatever they want, and what it meant to be rich and inhumane. Nobita clenched his fists and began his last struggle. But you release so many balloons every day, it will cause a lot of pollution. TSK, Nobita, you really don't know anything. Sunia curled his lips. My balloons are specially made, and they are made of degradable and environmentally friendly materials. As soon as the voice fell, Nobita felt that his heart was severely hit. Is this the power of rich people? That's right. Nobita, you are so stupid. Fat Tiger immediately punched Nobita on the head. You actually questioned the environmental protection of our research. Sunia was about to nod, but suddenly heard a keyword in Fat Tiger's words. We. Before he could refuse, Fat Tiger stood next to Sunia and said loudly, from today on, this project is completed by us together. What the hell? Sunia was shocked. Let Fat Tiger join in. He would rather let Nobita come. Fat Tiger. Nobita roared. I have never seen anyone as shameless as you. Chapter 757. Adventure in the Time Tunnel. What should I do now? Nobita, who was kicked out, walked into the park, found a seat, and sat down to think about life. In the end, I'm the only one who did nothing. If I continue like this, I will definitely be scolded. It is midsummer now, and the temperature on the bench is a little high, but Nobita doesn't care about it. He stares at the sky blocked by leaves. The sound of cicadas can be heard faintly around him. The sound of cicadas gradually calms his mood and his mind becomes active again. Oh, I have a solution. Nobita suddenly stood up. I just need to make good use of the time machine, right? Thinking of this, Nobita ignored the sweat on his body, took a step, and started running towards his home. The homework has been settled. As soon as he walked out of the door, he saw Izuki-chan walking past him with a few books, and his expression revealed that he was in a good mood. Nobita? What's the matter so urgent? Izuki-chan walked over to say hello to him. After all, Nobita is also his friend. Nobita also stopped and said, "It's like this. I'm worrying about the topic of my free research, and I just came up with a good idea." "I see, so is that why you called me before? You should already know what my research is." "Well, didn't you tell me?" Nobita looked at this Dekisugi and felt that he was a little different from the previous one. Hearing this, Dekisugi quickly changed the subject. "Really? Then I won't bother you. I hope your research will go smoothly." After that, Dekisugi ran away, leaving Nobita standing there in a daze. What happened to Dekisugi today? Nobita's doubts became even heavier. He felt that he seemed to have met several different Dekisugi today. Forget it, I'd better take care of myself. Nobita threw away his worries and continued to run home. I have as many troubles as a mountain. After a while, Nobita returned to his room, feeling a little relieved. It's great that Doraemon hasn't come back yet. He was worried that Doraemon would stop his plan, but now he doesn't even have the last worry. It's a perfect start. Then I'll go. Nobita opened the drawer and got in, and before leaving, he said mischievously, "I'll be back in a while." After entering the time machine, Nobita looked at the keyboard above and instantly turned into a bitter face. What the hell is this? It's not that the names of these function keys are so complicated. On the contrary, he really wants there to be names on it. Now all the keys on it have been replaced with Doraemon key diagrams. The only difference is the angle of the horizontal stripes and the size of the opening. As for this keyboard, he can absolutely guarantee that now no one except Doraemon can use his time machine. I remember it. Nobita covered his head and fell into extreme collapse. He finally remembered why the keyboard became like this. Last time I went back to the past to find Sun Wukong, Doraemon changed the keys to prevent me from misusing the time machine. Now even if he wanted to operate the keyboard by memory, it might not be feasible. God knows whether he has changed the operation method. Oh my god, why am I so miserable? Nobita collapsed in his seat. Is he destined to be unable to complete his homework this summer vacation? When Nobita was about to give up, a pure white airship suddenly appeared not far away, and red and blue lights were still flashing on both sides. Time patrol ship? Nobita was almost frightened to death. Has what I want to do already alarmed the time police? Didn't he just want to do a holiday homework? As long as the time patrol came to find him, when he was considering whether to escape, the airship had already stopped in front of him, and several female robots appeared above. Looking at the blue police uniforms worn by the other party, Nobita left a drop of cold sweat on his temples. With such a large lineup, could it be that what they did before was exposed? But it was also normal. He had modified the time so many times without authorization, and even caused a monster world. His crime should be punished. The mechanical patrolman jumped down from above and landed in front of Nobita, saluted him. "Hello, please tell me your identity for verification." My name is Nobita, and I'm currently studying in an elementary school in Tokyo, Japan. I'm really just. As he reported himself, his information flashed in the eyes of the time patrolman. The information is confirmed to be correct. Please show your time machine driver's license. Hearing this, Nobita's heart stopped for a second again, and then he argued, there should be no need to check my driver's license, right? Look, I'm just sitting here, and I didn't start the time machine. Does that mean I'll need a driver's license, even if I'm riding in someone else's car in the future? She said in an emotionless electronic voice. Because of the danger of time machines, it is stipulated that at least one person in the car must hold a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, you can't board the time machine alone, otherwise it will constitute an illegal act. What? Is there really such a rule in the future? Nobita could only cry out in his heart. He didn't expect that he would encounter such a bad thing. Unexpectedly, the robot police saluted again, but considering that you did not try to start the time machine, I cannot pursue this behavior. Please pay attention. After saying that, the mechanical patrol jumped up, landed steadily on the time and space patrol ship, and left here with a time and space jump. Just now, they found that there were abnormal time and space parameters nearby, so they came here. Ordinary things are not worth their situation. As for this child, he is a historical figure himself. They are only responsible for controlling people who have a time machine. This child is not within their control. Seeing them leave, Nobita was frightened and collapsed on the time machine. I didn't expect that I would be saved by someone who can't drive a time machine. It's great. Excuse me, does Mr. Doraemon live here? The uncle's voice suddenly came from behind him, almost making him leave this world. Looking back, he found that there was an uncle driving a truck behind him, holding a square package in his hand. It looked like he was delivering the package, so Nobita was no longer on guard, and nodded in agreement. Yes, Doraemon is living in my house now. That's good. This is the package that Mr. Shizuka gave him. Please keep it. The uncle threw the package to Nobita and drove away in the space-time truck. As for the issue of signing for it, as long as he successfully got the package, the space-time videotape would have been recorded. If the package was lost later, it would be impossible to find the delivery staff, so he left with peace of mind. Nobita glanced at the uncle who was walking away, and then looked at the package in his hand, which read, Summer Research, Limited Collection. Chapter 758 Golden Legend. After Doraemon and Xiaomi finished their date, he tiptoed to the door of Nobita's room, and began to observe the movements inside. It's been so long. I wonder if Nobita is still looking for a topic, or is he bored and starting to sleep in? After saying that, he gently opened the door, and found Nobita lying on the ground, humming a song leisurely. Really, I knew it. Doraemon rushed into the door and shouted loudly, Nobita, why are you still sleeping here leisurely? Half of the summer vacation has passed, and you still look so unmotivated. Do you really want to be scolded by the teacher when school starts? Doraemon was talking with spit flying all over the sky, but Nobita just sat on the ground, smiling and listening to his complaints. After he said he was tired, Nobita stood up and hugged the blue fat man. Doraemon, I knew you were the best to me. Nobita, did you take the wrong medicine today? Why did you suddenly hug me? Doraemon was a little confused when he shouted like that. Although he did prepare good things for Nobita, he hasn't taken them out yet. Could it be that Nobita has made up his mind to ask him for help? If he really thinks so, then he can't give it to him easily this time, otherwise it will only hurt him. Don't pretend. I know everything. Seeing his silly look, Nobita smiled and took out his summer research. Seeing the box with obviously different packaging, Doraemon also understood everything. So you already got it. No wonder you are so happy. Since it can't be hidden anymore, just be a good person to the end. And seeing that he is so excited, Doraemon doesn't want to disturb him. Then he walked to the box, touched his chin and said, I asked Shizuka to send you a summer study. How come he sent a limited edition? When did our family have the money to buy such good things? Could it be that he went to find the Prime Minister's son again? The current Prime Minister is the grandson of Izuki-san, and he still maintains a good relationship with their family. The children of both sides often play with each other. Thanks to them, Shizuka has fewer shortcomings than Nobita, and he didn't have too much trouble taking care of him at the beginning. However, they firmly resist asking others for things. Their family is a little poor, but they are not beggars. Thinking of this, he took out the time phone and contacted Shizuka. Shizuka, where did that research group come from? You didn't go to Yingju to ask for something, did you? Shizuka, who was eating fruit, said quickly, you are talking about that thing. I won it from a lottery at the mall some time ago. Don't worry, I know you and Pavamon don't get along. How could you ask someone for such a valuable thing? After that, Doraemon snatched the phone. Brother, the class reunion will be in a while, don't forget it. As soon as the voice fell, Nobita saw Doraemon suddenly turned into a stone. Hearing this, he seemed to have suffered a great blow. Hey, brother, are you still listening? Doraemon continued to shout, "Remember to say hello to Pavemon." After Doraemon finished speaking, Nobita's scream suddenly came from the receiver. It's cracked. The stone statue of Doraemon suddenly cracked. Then there was a buzzer sound, and Doraemon had hung up the phone. Really, brother is still like this. Doraemon returned the phone to Shizuka helplessly. He can't accept it when it comes to Pavemon. Shizuka didn't mind. Isn't it normal? After all, they have always been rivals, and Doraemon can't compare. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Shizuka looked at Doraemon's face and quickly offered a fruit plate to apologize. He forgot that Doraemon is a brother con. TSK, that's more like it. Doraemon picked up a piece of pineapple and put it in his mouth. Speaking of which, I have to say hello to Pavemon. As long as he deliberately loses to Doraemon once, his brother shouldn't care so much, right? Shizuka picked up a piece of pineapple with a toothpick and put it in his mouth. By the way, have you and Pavemon confirmed your relationship? Not yet. It should be possible after he meets my brother, Doraemon said as she picked up the phone. At this time, Nobita was desperately hugging Doraemon. Calm down, Doraemon. Pavemon just likes your sister. There is no need. Don't even think about it. He wants to seduce my sister, maybe in the next life. Doraemon held up the air cannon and planned to go to Pavemon to fight. Seeing him so determined, Nobita sighed secretly. It seems that there is no way. Now I can only start the final plan. In the process of struggling, Nobita had gently opened the bottom drawer of his desk with his toes, and there was only a pink box inside. Nobita stepped on the box a little harder, and a very realistic grey mouse model popped out of the box. Doraemon paused for a second when he saw the mouse model, and then he didn't even scream, and his eyes rolled over, and he fainted directly. It's finally over. Nobita wiped the sweat from his head. I didn't expect that he would react so strongly when talking about Doraemon's boyfriend. The reaction just now was almost second only to his seeing the mouse. It seems that Doraemon really has a lot of weight in his heart. Oh, what happened? Doraemon sat up from the ground in a daze. I just seemed to remember that I had something to do. Nobita looked at the confused Doraemon and nodded secretly. He didn't expect that he would get the best results right away. Of course it's something important. Nobita pointed to the box on the ground. Didn't you just say that you would teach me how to do this summer research homework? Yes, look at my memory. Doraemon walked over and opened this limited edition of summer research. There were a bunch of strange things inside. Oh my, it's worthy of being limited. I didn't expect that the research topic they gave would be this. After seeing the name on it, Doraemon understood the purpose of this thing, which could not be measured by money. But it is estimated that Shizuka didn't know the content of this thing. Otherwise he might keep it for his summer research instead of giving it to them. What is it? It's so mysterious. Nobita leaned his face over. Tell me quickly, what is the research topic of this thing? He originally wanted to look at the instructions on it, but he didn't expect that there were a bunch of terms that he couldn't understand at all, so he had to give up. Don't be surprised when I tell you this. This thing is a limited edition worldwide, and it's one of the most advanced reality simulation props. It's a rare prop that can't be purchased by normal means. It's only a top-notch item that you can get with a small chance in a lucky draw at a future department store. After saying that, Doraemon raised the prop above his head, and a burst of golden light emanated from the prop. This is the legendary simulator that can create the world. Genesis Encyclopedia. Chapter 759 Big Explosion. Genesis Encyclopedia. Nobita blinked. Although I don't know the function of this thing, it sounds very powerful. Doraemon nodded. If it can create a real world, how can it not be powerful? Listen, this prop can eventually create the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Jupiter and all the planets in the solar system. But it may be that, because of your different operations, the created world may be slightly different from the existing world, which is also the greatest fun. Although future scientists have simulated the Big Bang, they cannot completely copy an Earth. This also proves that the development of the Earth is absolutely unique in the universe. Just by listening to him say this, Nobita already understood how powerful. If I can create the world, wouldn't I become God? Of course, creating a world and observing its survival and reproduction is also an extremely important experience link of this prop. Before he finished speaking, Nobita had already opened the box and planned to create a world of his own. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Doraemon stood in front of him. Listen, I won't stop you from using this prop, but you must agree on 3 rules before using it. Agree on 3 rules. Okay. Nobita stretched out his hand to him nonchalantly, motioning Doraemon to continue. Because this prop set is so expensive, I must explain it to you clearly beforehand, so that you won't regret it later if something happens. First, you must strictly follow my instructions, and you must not be lazy at all during the process. Second, you must write an observation diary every day. And third, you must not give up halfway because of impatience. Understand? Absolutely no problem. Nobita patted his chest and agreed. The process of creating the world must be very interesting. How could he give up halfway because of impatience? Yoshi. Doraemon stood up and let go of the Genesis. In that case, let's get started. Nobita quickly opened the box and saw that the prop box contained a halo, a wooden stick, 3 bottles and a rolled up object. Seeing these things, Nobita was a little disappointed. Is that all? Can you really create the world with these things? The world today is so complicated, but he really didn't believe that it could be created with just such a small thing. Doraemon didn't explain to him, but walked over, took out the rolled up blanket, and laid it in the middle of the room. This thing is called a space blanket. Doraemon handed the wooden stick to Nobita again. You can open it by knocking on the blanket with this. Is that so? Nobita stood on the space blanket and gently poked the pink blanket with the bottom of the crutch he had just taken. Then, the top of the blanket gradually disappeared from the place where it was knocked, opening up the different dimensions inside. Nobita stood in the air for a while with the staff, and then fell into this bottomless space. Oops, I forgot. Doraemon quickly took out the golden halo and threw it down. Nobita, you forgot your god, protagonist, halo. Nobita was falling endlessly, and suddenly a golden ring flew from the sky and landed on his head with a ding sound. When the ring floated above Nobita's head, he suddenly found that he seemed to have the ability to fly. I was scared to death. After calming down, Nobita was in the mood to pay attention to the surrounding environment. By the way, it's so dark here, there is nothing. Because there is nothing here, not even light, everything needs to be created by yourself. Don't worry too much, I will throw you what you need right away. Doraemon said while picking up the box of Genesis. You catch it below. Leptons, quarks, gauge particles. These cosmic elements are what the universe originally had. After that, he threw 3 bottles of different colors into the space blanket, and all of them fell steadily into Nobita's arms. After seeing that he had gotten all of them, Doraemon continued, now spread these things evenly in the space. Got it. Nobita opened the lids of the 3 bottles and sprayed these strange things, which were not sure whether they were liquid or solid, in the space. When they were almost mixed, Doraemon continued, now use your control stick to stir these substances. Stir? Easy. Nobita picked up his wooden stick and began to stir these strange things according to what Doraemon said. But after stirring for a few seconds, a strange sound suddenly appeared in this world, and Nobita seemed to realize that something was wrong. Bang! A huge explosion suddenly occurred in the carpet, blowing Nobita and Doraemon away. What happened? Nobita's body faintly exuded a burnt smell, and the blue fat man quickly apologized. Sorry, let me see what the manual says. Doraemon, who was also stained by the explosion, took out the manual. I found it. The book says that the universe will have a big bang at the beginning. So try not to operate in the space blanket during the first step of stirring, so as not to be accidentally injured by the explosion. Really, why didn't you say such an important thing earlier? Nobita wiped his face with a handkerchief and looked at Doraemon angrily. The blue fat man stuck out his tongue embarrassedly. Sorry, I have never seen such a high-end prop, let alone used it. TSK, then I will forgive you this time. Speaking of why their family is so poor, Nobita also felt a little guilty. The two returned to the space blanket, and their expressions could not hide their happiness, but the good news is that the first stage is completed. Yes, the completed star is really beautiful. Looking at the nebula gas and dust slowly rotating in the space blanket, Nobita's heart almost melted. Even the starry night sky created last time was not as beautiful as this nebula in Nobita's eyes. Now the nebula gas and dust are mixed together, and this is roughly equivalent to the scene of the Earth 4.6 billion years ago. 4.6 billion years. Nobita was shocked by this data. It turns out that their world has such a long history? No, I have to write an observation diary immediately. Nobita immediately returned to his seat. This free research will shock the world. I must enjoy it alone. As soon as the voice fell, the two of them suddenly heard someone screaming outside, which forced Nobita to stop writing. What happened? Nobita stood up, a little worried. Could it be that someone was bullied, screaming so miserably? Who knew that the next moment, a figure with a sharp roar suddenly broke through the three walls of their house and plunged into the free research that Nobita cared about the most. Chapter 760, the protagonist's amazing journey. What happened? Nobita and Doraemon stood up quickly. Did a big black rat fly in just now? Then they looked at the hole in the wall and swallowed hard. Who made this hole? Oh my god, I'm scared. A slightly weak voice came from behind them. Nobita and Doraemon were shocked and turned their heads slowly. At this moment, a pale hand stretched out from the space blanket. What happened to the Archangel's staff? It was like crazy just now. If I wasn't so strong, I might not be able to catch it. Why does this strange vortex have such a strong attraction? Hearing this familiar voice, Nobita and Doraemon exclaimed in unison, "You and Dazi, why are you here?" The two of them hurried over to pull you and Dazi up. Aren't you always recuperating at home? And why don't you go through the main door? It's hard to say. You and Dazi was sitting next to them. Just now, all the spiritual things on his body, such as the cloak and the soul-devouring monument, ran away. At this moment, the voice of Nobita's mother suddenly came from below. "Nobita, why is it so noisy up there? Did you and Doraemon quarrel again?" You and Dazi made a prompt decision. "Forget it, let me solve the trouble first." He stretched out his hand towards the hole on the wall and the door, and the shadow of a clock appeared in his palm, slowly going back to 1 minute ago. The things that he had just smashed flew back immediately, and in less than a few seconds, the originally broken wall was restored to its original state. At this time, Nobita's mother pushed the door open and entered. "You were just... Dazi, you are here too. Are you here to help Nobita with his summer homework?" "Yes, Nobita is worried about his summer homework, so he called me here." And as he pointed at Nobita's research notebook and started talking, his mother's eyes were instantly filled with relief. "Nobita has really grown up. Wait for me, I'll go prepare some snacks." Looking at his mother who left happily, Nobita and Doraemon leaned back to back, and now they were finally safe. Yu and Dazi also relaxed and asked, "Come to think of it, what were you doing just now? It seems like you are making something amazing." Just now, the Archangel staff and Dark Star cloak on his body kept flying towards this side, and the walls of the training room and him combined could not stop them. If it weren't for the fact that he still had the contract with these items, he would have begun to suspect that he was being taken advantage of by these things. "Of course we are making something amazing." Dakshin put the box in front of Yu and Dazi. "Look, the Genesis Encyclopedia. Isn't it amazing?" Hearing this name, Yu and Dazi quickly snatched the box. On it was a picture of an old man creating the world. My god. Even he was stunned for a while. Creating a world? You really dare to think and do it? He quickly extended his mental power into the space blanket and found that the laws here were all open, but extremely chaotic, and there were few useful things. "It's not time yet." He stood up and prepared to leave. "You guys take your time. I might come to see you in 2 days. You're leaving now? Why don't you stay a little longer?" Nobita looked at Yu and Dazi's back as he was about to leave and couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. They are creating a world. Can you be a little surprised? This is in line with what they are doing now. Yes, I still have a lot of things to deal with over there. And as he opened the door and found Nobita's mother standing outside with juice. Seeing that he was leaving, his mother was also a little surprised. "Oh, Dazi, you are leaving so soon?" "Yes, there are still a lot of things to do at home, and Nobita has found a research topic, so there is no need for me to stay here." After hearing what he said, his mother didn't try to persuade him to stay. "Then be careful on the road, and if you have time, you can come over often to play. We welcome you anytime." Watching Yu and as he leave, Nobita's mother placed the juice in front of Nobita and the others with relief, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but rise. After being with them for so long, Nobita has changed a lot. Although she is not as good as others, she is still very happy. After leaving the room, Yu and as he also began to plan, I must go to Nobita's house tomorrow. This is a rare opportunity. When a world is about to take shape, all the laws will be exposed. Although the laws of the world are different, they are generally similar. Moreover, he has successfully engraved the laws of nature in the Deo seal, and no longer needs to practice for a long time to accumulate magic power. What he has to do now is to comprehend the laws. If he wants to advance now, the laws are even more important than the amount of magic power. Unknowingly, Yu and as he has returned to the door of the room, and the hole he just made on the third floor has been repaired. Walking into the yard, King Yu, who has fully recovered, is still exercising, while Chumashin is making machinery in the small warehouse. It seems that these two people have not been idle recently. He pushed open the door and said to himself, my chance is coming soon. Seeing him coming back, Dekisugi, who was cleaning, greeted him. Dazzy, why did you suddenly fly out from the third floor just now? Nothing, Nobita is making trouble and pulled my staff over. He waved his hand and didn't want to mention it again. After all, being dragged out by your own magic weapon is not a glorious thing, no matter where you put it, so he naturally didn't want to say more. After returning to the room, Zyashin in the room put down the comic book. Dazzy, you are back. Why did you suddenly fly out just now? It's because Nobita is making big news again. As he was talking, he suddenly felt that this scene was a little familiar. Didn't Dekisugi ask him when he was downstairs just now? Why is he asking him again now? Is it fun? Wait, something seems wrong. Yu and as he looked at Chumashin sitting on the seat and asked uncertainly, weren't you downstairs just now? No, I was reading in my room the whole time. After saying that, he shook the comic in his hand to prove that he had not left. Seeing this scene, Yu and as he felt a little overwhelmed. Who was cleaning downstairs just now? Then he stuck his head out of the window again. Who is the person doing research in the warehouse downstairs? Am I also seeing things? This is impossible. Come and make way. It's time to clean up. Put your feet away. Chumashin suddenly appeared at the door with a broom, ready to clean up here. Then, a bunch of Chumashin suddenly appeared in various corners of the room and walked out of the door, making way for the venue. Looking at so many identical Chumashin, Yu and as he felt that his worldview collapsed. Chapter 761, Changes in Shizuka. I was really scared just now. Yu and as he drank a mouthful of water to calm down, but he still couldn't accept the room full of Dekisugi. So, you have mastered the method of splitting your personality into clones during this period, so that they have the ability to think? Not me. The Dekisugi you know is doing research downstairs. Dekisugi, who was reading comics, pointed to the warehouse downstairs and said. At this time, Dekisugi, who received the news, also returned to the room. Have you finished your training? They shouldn't have scared you just now, right? Yu and as he rolled his eyes. He was almost scared to death by these people just now. He thought there was a riot at home. Zyashin didn't mind. If he put himself in their shoes, he would probably not feel any better if he was pranked like this by these people. Let's not talk about this. Yu and as he calmed down, you split yourself into so many parts. Have you made any research results? Yes, I made a brand new combat suit, and the weapons configured inside far exceed what was developed last time. A Dekisugi next to him took out a square box from the drawer. After opening it, there was a brand new set of white armor inside, shining in the sun. This suit is developed based on dark energy. Izuki took it out with his mental power. I named it White Knight. The biggest feature of this thing is that it can completely reflect sunlight. At least the light I create has no way to penetrate it, and the energy inside is dark energy. Even if the outer armor is broken, the dark energy can form a barrier to resist most attacks. Looking at this armor, Yu and as he had an urge to test the strength of the armor, but he restrained it. No, theory is useless against gods. He was still a little worried. After all, the power of the sun god is far beyond you and me. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean he can't do it. I'm also worried about this. Zyashin's voice was also low. What happened that day was almost a nightmare for him. This was a powerlessness and despair that he had never felt even when facing the Soul God. The gap in strength between the two was like an insurmountable chasm. Moreover, the current Sun God was still in a state of serious injury. If the other party recovered to his prime, how strong would he be? When the two were silent, there was a knock on the door and Shizuka's voice. "You and Azuki, Demishin, are you there?" "Shizuka? Why is he here?" Demishin gave a look to the Demishin present, and they immediately entered the invisible state. This is the ability that Demishin got after swallowing the invisible lizard, which can perfectly blend into the surrounding environment. The two walked downstairs together to open the door, and said to Shizuka, who was wrapped in black cloth, "Why did you suddenly come to us? And you are dressed like this. There seems to be something wrong with my body." Shizuka walked into the room, closed the door, and reached out to untie the cloth strip on his head. Now Shizuka has a few more horns on his head, and the nails on his hands have begun to grow wildly. And the most terrifying thing is that his mouth has become very huge. Seeing his current appearance, the two were also shocked. "Are you possessed by a monster? Come to us to exorcise the evil spirit? Please, I can exorcise the evil spirit myself." Shizuka was disappointed with their performance, because now they don't know what's going on with them. "That's true." Yu and Dazi touched his chin and thought, "When did you start to look like this?" Demishin didn't interrupt. It was obvious that they knew more about superpowers, so outsiders didn't need to intervene. Shizuka answered immediately, "It was today. After I broke through the limit, I suddenly felt a heat in my body, and then it became like this. That should be the reason for the superpower. Otherwise, I will try to seal your superpower first, and see if your body can change back." "Okay, this is the only way now." Shizuka said that he had no objection, and he would try his best. Although being sealed by others is a very dangerous thing, these two people are his friends, and he believes that Yu and Dazi will not deliberately harm him. After getting the other party's permission, he stretched out his fingers and carefully carved a complex pattern on the other party's forehead. The forehead is where the practitioner seal is located. For superpowers, it is the place where energy gathers. Outsiders must never touch it easily. Now Shizuka is willing to let them touch his vitals, which is enough to show how much he trusts these two people. Soon, Yu and Dazi loosened his hand, and a complex magic pattern was engraved on Shizuka's forehead, and began to suppress the influence of energy on his body. At this time, the protruding horns on Shizuka's head suddenly began to shrink back, and the originally cracked corners of his mouth healed little by little. Soon, Shizuka's body returned to normal, and he looked no different from other children of the same age. I'm finally saved. His tense nerves finally relaxed. If my mother saw what I looked like just now, it would be over. At this point, Yu and Dazi gently poked Chumushin. "What do you think would happen if your mother saw her son super doubled? According to my estimation, she will probably go crazy, right? After all, even you who are not surprised by anything were scared like that." The two secretly expressed their concerns about the future, and Shizuka was more anxious than them. What should I do in the future? Will I be sealed forever? If his superpowers would go out of control once they were unlocked, then he might as well not have this superpower, because that would be too disgusting. It shouldn't be necessary. I'll ask someone who knows more about this later. He should have a solution. This person naturally refers to the soul-devouring monument. Now he has also gone to stay in the vortex. Yu and Dazi can't contact him for the time being. Seeing that they have no choice, Shizuka had to leave first. "Then I'll leave first. Next time I come, I'll bring you some food to express my gratitude. Is it enough to feed you?" Yu and Dazi's words choked him, and he couldn't speak. "I guess the whole Tokyo knows about your appetite. With his little pocket money, it's probably not enough to fill the gaps in his teeth in front of this big eater. You still want him to feed you? It's better to sell him." "Okay, I'm kidding." Demishin hurriedly came out to smooth things over. "Don't worry, we will notify you as soon as there is news. Then please." Shizuka thanked again and left here, and Demishin glanced at Yu and Dazi helplessly, seeing how he scared others. Yu and Dazi seemed to be completely unaware, and said to himself, "By the way, is there anything to eat at home?" Yes, my clone in the mountain sends back meat every week. I will cook a meal for you tonight. Now think about it, we haven't eaten together for such a long time. Tonight is a good time to relax. Okay, I'll help too. Yu and as he rolled up his sleeves and followed behind Chumushin and walked into the kitchen with him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 762 Free Research. End. The next morning, Doraemon got up early, took out the Genesis Encyclopedia, and knocked open the door of the space blanket with a wooden stick. When he saw the light group in the galaxy, Doraemon smiled with relief. The sun has appeared, and we can move on to the next step. But since it is Nobita's free research, it would be better to let him do it himself. Doraemon smiled and glanced at Nobita, who was still sleeping, then took out a speaker and put it next to his ear. Nobita, you're going to be late for school. What? You're going to be late? Nobita immediately jumped up from the bed, quickly got dressed and prepared to go to school at the speed of wind. Just as Nobita was carrying his school bag, he suddenly realized, wait, I'm going to be late for school? But isn't it summer vacation now? After realizing it, he immediately glared at Doraemon. Doraemon, do you know that this kind of joke is not allowed? It's not to prevent you from missing the good opportunity to create the world. Now it's finally your turn as God to work. He pointed to the space blanket next to him. Come and take a look. After a night, the sun has begun to shine on this new world. Nobita also walked over to look at the rising sun. His eyes gradually filled with light. Really? The sun is actually white. Of course. Doraemon pointed at the star next to him with his wooden stick. Look, now the gas and rocks next to it are surrounding the sun like planets. Looking at the circles of gravel surrounding the sun, Nobita was a little dissatisfied. Why are they so small? If these planets are always as small as they are now, they can't bear so many people living there, right? Doraemon nodded and explained to Nobita, now these planets are just prototypes. Come, look here. He pointed at several small meteorites with his wooden stick and said, these asteroids will continue to collide with each other, break up after the collision, and then reassemble again. After repeating this process thousands of times, the size of the newly generated planet will become larger, and eventually become what it is now. This is really a long process. He watched these stars continue to collide and aggregate, and he didn't know how long it would take to successfully become the Earth. At this time, the voice of Nobita's mother came from below, asking them to go downstairs to eat. After they agreed, they went downstairs to eat. And as he had also woken up. Last night, he had a good sleep after having dinner with a dozen emission. Although he already knew the reason, he still felt uncomfortable seeing so many people who looked the same. When a clone bought more than 10 breakfasts and came back, everyone finished breakfast together and continued to do their own things. Taking this opportunity, and as he used his mental power to take a look at the situation on Nobita's side and found that the world had begun to take shape. The rules over there have been stabilized a lot. It's time. He simply packed his school bag. Wait, Nobita, I'll be your supervisor. At this time, Nobita was eating breakfast in the restaurant. His father asked, while reading the newspaper, Nobita, how is your free research going? When talking about this, Nobita's emotions were unprecedentedly high. Well, I have started it now. He remembered that last night, he dreamed that he became God, and Fat Tiger, Sunia, Shizuka, Izuki, and Eiji Yejin knelt on the ground and called him God. Whenever he thought of this scene, he had endless motivation to create the world. Oh, have you started? Mom came over with a cup of tea and asked him, what is the project? Can you tell us about it? Nobita organized his words seriously and then said, we decided to create an Earth to observe. Huh? Create an Earth? Nobita's father was frightened by his bold words. Can he really create this thing? After saying that, Nobita swallowed the bread in one gulp. I'm full. Now I'm going back to continue observing. You guys take your time to eat. Wait for me. Doraemon also quickly finished his breakfast like Nobita and walked out of the restaurant with him to continue observing the world. Creating the Earth? Dad still didn't believe it, but Mom seemed to have accepted this fact and explained calmly, it should be a globe. After all, it was a bit unbelievable for a 10-year-old child to create an Earth, and it would be much more reasonable to replace it with a globe. Right. Nobita's father suddenly remembered. In about a week, it seems that Nobita's birthday will be here, right? Nobita's mother also remembered. Yes, we still have to hold a birthday party for Nobita. We have to prepare in advance. Nobita and Doraemon stood next to the space blanket. Nobita poked the blue fat man. By the way, Doraemon, how long will it take for Adam and Eve to appear? It's still early, and the Earth hasn't even been formed yet. Doraemon was also helpless. Why is this guy so impatient? But what Nobita said made sense. It was indeed impossible to complete it before school started like this. He had to think of a way. Not long after, he found in the operating manual next to him that he could use the cane to adjust time and speed up the formation of the world. This was also normal. It was impossible for a scientist to spend billions of years observing this process. The acceleration function was necessary. Nobita's side was in full swing, and Fat Tiger was carrying his grey backpack and preparing to go to Sunia's house. Since he said he wanted to team up with him, Fat Tiger felt that he still had to show some appreciation and couldn't just eat for free around him. When he came to Sunia's yard, he thought today would be a smooth day, but he found that Sunia was sighing in the yard. What's wrong, Zyrofu? Fat Tiger hurried over and asked with concern. Did you encounter any difficulties in your research today? Zyrofu nodded in despair. Yes, there was no thank you call or reply letter yesterday. How can I do research? Oh, how could this be? Are those people so ungrateful? Fat Tiger hugged Zyrofu. Don't worry, I have thought of a good way for you. The reason why others didn't reply to your message must be because the gift you sent was too ordinary. You have to change it to a better gift. After saying that, he opened his backpack, which was now full of a lot of tapes. These are all collections of my songs. If you give these things out, others will be moved to tears. Zyrofu's eyes were wide open when he looked at these things. How could he do research? Did he have to find out their location through the complaint phone? Finally, Zyrofu's legs softened, and he knelt on the ground powerlessly and muttered to himself, my summer free research is over. Chapter 763 Inquiry. Doraemon read the instruction manual of the cane and press the button. The limit of time acceleration is 3 hours and 100 million years. This speed can not only make the Earth take shape faster, but also let us see the formation of the Earth more intuitively in this process. When he pressed the button, the collision speed of the small planets below suddenly increased, and small explosions continued to sound inside the space blanket. That's almost it. Doraemon continued to read the instruction manual. By the way, I almost forgot that the instruction manual said that it must be stirred frequently after acceleration. After that, he put the cane in Nobita's hand. Did you hear that? The stirring is left to you. Oh, why me? Nobita turned over in boredom while lying on the ground. He was too lazy to do such boring things. Doraemon pulled him up. Because this is your free research, not mine, so of course you have to do it. Yes, I know. God's work is really boring. He could only pick up the cane in boredom, kneel down next to the space blanket and start stirring. Doraemon glanced at him and walked out the door. I have to leave for a while. Me and I have a date today. Ah, so cunning. Nobita could only watch Doraemon's back as he walked away. He also wanted to go out and have fun like him. He had just walked out the door when Yu and Daisy came to their door. Doraemon, won't you supervise Nobita to continue doing his homework? No, it's not technical now, so there's no need for supervision. The blue fat man didn't care at all. Anyway, this was Nobita's homework. He had done everything he could. How much effort Nobita made and what the result would be all depended on how he did it. After Doraemon left, Yu and Daisy still didn't believe it. TSK, you say you don't care, but you really care about it in your heart. If Nobita really doesn't believe that something has happened, I believe you will definitely be able to save it. After that, he pushed the door and walked into Nobita's house. At this time, Nobita's father had gone to work, leaving his mother here to do housework. Gian is here? Nobita Maka was washing clothes and didn't forget to greet him. I can't leave here. Go find Nobita and play by yourself. Okay, thank you, auntie. In front of them, and as he always maintained his image of a good boy so as not to affect his reputation. Going upstairs, he saw Nobita constantly stirring the substances in the space blanket next to him, looking very bored. Dazhi, you're here at the right time. Seeing him coming, Nobita jumped up excitedly. Come and help me stir. But and Dazhi looked at him with disdain. Isn't this your own summer research? Why don't you do it yourself? What a joke. He came here to take the opportunity to get the law, and when you comprehend the law, you must devote yourself to it. How could he have the mind to stir things? But didn't you also participate in the production process? Nobita threw out a reason that he couldn't refuse. Don't forget that your staff is still in it. Hearing what he said, and as he felt that there was indeed some truth. The better Nobita stirred, the better the benefits of his magic device would be. You are right. And as he rolled up his sleeves, you have successfully convinced me, so let me help you. A few minutes later, Dakshin had a big bump on his head, a few tears in the corners of his eyes, and his hands were still frantically stirring the meteor right below. And as he stood by and did stretching exercises. Stir faster. If you move slowly again, I will continue to help you. I know. Dakshin looked at him hatefully. Is this what this guy called help? It's better to be free without him. While he was working, and as he had already found the soul-devouring monument. Old Manling, do you know the situation in Shizuka? When he came to see us yesterday, he had a few more horns on his head, and his mouth became very big. He didn't look like a human at all. Ling Feng took a little time out from his busy schedule. That's a very normal situation. The body will mutate after the superpower breaks the limit. Because superpowers reflect the primitive instincts of the body and soul, the more they are developed, the most primitive side of the body will gradually be exposed. This is not a bad thing. This is a normal situation for strength advancement, probably like when you just broke through to level 4. After he can fully master his own power, as long as he controls his strength and emotions, his body will naturally return to human form. And as he asked worriedly, then I sealed his superpowers, it should be okay, right? Sealed? It doesn't matter. Find a time to unseal him, and let him practice mastering the energy himself. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll leave. I'll sleep for a while. It's safe now, so I feel relieved. Seeing the old man was about to leave, and as he hurriedly called him, wait, I have another question for you. There will be more or less hidden dangers after the mental power and supernatural power break through the limit for the first time. Will there be hidden dangers after I reach level 4? Hearing this question, Ling Feng chuckled. The predecessors constantly modify the exercises. In addition to speeding up the practice, isn't it to eliminate these hidden dangers? If the practice of the exercises can also cause physical abnormalities, then where have you put the efforts of those predecessors? After saying this, the soul-devouring monument continued to go back, to absorb the power in the world. It would not go back, unless it was something important. After knowing the abnormality of Shizuka, and as he also calmed down, and prepared to enter a deep state of law perception here. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Nobita suddenly stretched out his hand and poked him. Classmate, please help me, I want to go and play with Shizuka. Just give up. If you go out now, not only will you not be able to find Shizuka, you will also be beaten up by Fat Tiger, so stay here honestly. After saying that, and as he sat down cross-legged beside him, his mind immersed in the new universe, and quickly entered the state of law perception. TSK, what are you so proud of? Nobita quietly made a face at him. I won't believe your nonsense. After stirring for a while, Nobita really didn't want to move. His arms were so sore that he couldn't lift them, and even his waist began to stiffen. So he quietly turned back to look at and Dazhi, but found that he was sitting next to him with his eyes closed, as if he was asleep. Classmate, classmate. Nobita called him softly, but and Dazhi didn't respond at all. He must have fallen asleep. TSK, you still have the nerve to say that to me? Nobita put his cane aside smugly. In the end, you fell asleep out of boredom? What do you mean you won't be able to find Shizuka when you go out, and you'll be beaten by Fat Tiger? Do you think I will believe it? After saying that, Nobita went out. Chapter 764 Mistake. Walking on the street to Shizuka's house, Nobita faced the sunshine. He had never felt the sun's rays so warm. It's so comfortable not to work. Nobita put his hands behind his back and walked with his feet turned outward. Now I feel comfortable all over. I wonder if others will feel the warmth and strength like me when they enjoy the sunshine I create. Not long after, he knocked on the door of Shizuka's house and shouted outside, "Is Shizuka here? I'm here to play with you." The door was opened soon, but it was Shizuka's mother who opened the door. "It's Nobita. Shizuka is swimming with her classmates now." What? Nobita was shocked instantly. He didn't expect that Dazi was right. He really couldn't find Shizuka this time. And Shizuka went out to swim, and he couldn't swim, so he really couldn't find Shizuka this time. Seeing how disappointed he was, Shizuka's mother couldn't bear it. "How about I call Shizuka and ask her to come back earlier?" "No, thank you, auntie." Although he didn't find Shizuka, Nobita didn't want to disturb other people's happiness, so he decided to go back quickly. He was also worried about another thing that Dazi said. He would be beaten up by Fat Tiger later. It was terrible. As long as he thought of Fat Tiger's fist, Nobita shuddered. It would be better to go back quickly to reduce the probability of encountering Fat Tiger. After walking out of the door, Nobita felt that the sun in the sky seemed a little dazzling, and the sunlight shining on his body made him very uncomfortable. "Really, why is it so hot today?" Nobita said to himself in dissatisfaction. If only the sun could be less hot. He had only walked a little bit of the way home when Fat Tiger's call suddenly came from behind Nobita, and he was so scared that his whole body trembled suddenly. "Nobita, wait for me." Fat Tiger ran to him with anger on his face and complained, "Sunia actually betrayed me." He gave up the research on wind direction and went to the department store to buy a few specimens. "That guy is really too much." As he spoke, Fat Tiger grabbed Nobita's hand with tears in his eyes. "Now we are the only ones who depend on each other. Let's be scolded together when school starts." Hearing about this, Nobita's heart suddenly surged with a feeling of gloating. Fat Tiger was really disliked. But now is not the time to gloat. Nobita gently withdrew his hand and said carefully, "I'm sorry." "What?" Fat Tiger looked at him and immediately guessed what Nobita wanted to say. He did free research. When he thought of this, Fat Tiger's face turned red with anger. "You bastard actually did free research behind my back, you traitor. Help." Nobita hurriedly ran towards his home. No matter how much he comforted him now, it was useless. It was better to run away. "Asshole, stop right there." Fat Tiger's muscles bulged one by one. He would never stop until he beat Nobita half to death today. "Help me, why didn't I listen to you and Dazuki and stay at home? If I could start over again, I would never go out again." It was useless to regret at this point. Nobita, who was still weak, was quickly pressed to the ground by Fat Tiger and beaten severely. At this time, Doraemon returned to the room because he was worried about Nobita. As a result, he saw a child sitting next to him, seemingly dozing off. "Really, Nobita, you are lazy here again." Doraemon went over and grabbed his shoulders and shook them hard. "Why don't you wake up quickly and stir me up?" Dazuki, who was awakened from his deep enlightenment, was very unhappy. He stood up with something like a morning grumpiness so that he could see clearly. "Hey?" It turned out to be Yuan classmate. Doraemon let go of his hand with a wry smile and quickly helped him to sort out the wrinkles on his clothes. "You haven't left yet, so where did Nakshan go? Shouldn't he stir the meteor right here?" Dazuki bounced off Doraemon's hand gently. "I don't know. 80% don't listen to persuasion. Go out and fight." Listening to him, Doraemon quickly looked at the space blanket next to him, but found that the pumping frequency of the galaxy over there was almost zero. "Really, I know." Doraemon's head ached. "Now you must stir again, and you must teach him a good teach." The consequence of almost stopping is that the asteroid is unable to reorganize into a new planet, and most of the substances are burned by the sun. Star. In short, the remaining things are no longer valuable, and their destination is only burned. It didn't take long, and the wounded Nobita opened the door. "I came back, and I decided not to go out in the future." Running. "Nobita, what on earth did you do?" Doraemon pointed to the galaxy below. "Look, this is the consequence of you running around." Seeing that the two were not gentle to him at all, Nobita cried aggrievedly, "Wow, I was beaten by Fat Tiger, and you didn't comfort me." Unexpectedly, the two men hugged their hands at the same time, tilted their heads to one side in unison, and said in unison, "You deserve it." When Nobita finally cried enough, Doraemon took him to the space blanket. "Look, this is the consequence of you sneaking out. All matter has been melted by the sun, which means that your Earth was destroyed before it was born." Nobita jumped up in fright. "What? The consequences are so serious? Gian and Azuki, aren't you here? Why don't you come to help? I have my own things to do, and if I had stayed awake just now, you wouldn't have been able to jump out." Gian and Azuki explained expressionlessly. When the planetary fragments were burned just now, he found the common ground between the two laws, which can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. In other words, if that state happened again, maybe he would have a chance to make up for his previous regrets. Unfortunately, now that Doraemon is here, it is estimated that there is no chance for Nobita to make another mistake, and he can only accept this ending. Doraemon hit Nobita on the head with his cane. "Don't push your own problems onto others. Others have no obligation to supervise you. You still have one chance now, cherish it." After saying that, Doraemon turned a button on the cane, and the time in the universe began to flow backwards rapidly. A few seconds later, the galaxy had returned to the state it was before Nobita left. Doraemon handed him the cane. "Okay, it's up to you now." Chapter 765. Point of no return. After 3 hours of non-stop stirring, Nobita finally pulled out his cane, and all the planets in the solar system below were finally completely formed. Finally done. He sat on the ground. "Really, I feel like my hands are completely useless. Although the process was a little hard, the result is still very good. It's great to be able to do it like this for the first time." Doraemon looked at the 8 planets in the solar system. Not only was there not one missing, but even the ratio between the planets was similar to the existing planets. The second stage is completed. Doraemon looked at the planet below and said, "This is the Earth 4.5 billion years ago." Gian and as he also stood up and put away his video recorder at the same time. "It's getting late. I'll go back first. Thank you for your information." Nobita quickly cheered up and stood up and said, "The information is fine, but the topic of free research. Don't worry, I won't steal your topic." Gian and as he turned around and gave him an okay gesture, and then prepared to go home and share these things with Dekisugi. As a talent on the scientific side, he must be the most curious about this kind of thing, and maybe he can research a lot of things. He's finally gone. Nobita's nerves were completely relaxed. "Doraemon, what should we do in the next stage?" "It's not the time yet. Let's wait for it to develop freely for a while. The environment on Earth is still too bad, and life cannot be born." The blue fat man put away the space blanket. "You should go to your research diary first. It will take a long time for the next life to be born." Nobita nodded, found his observation notebook from yesterday, and drew the appearance of the Earth just now. After returning home, Yu and Azi hurriedly called Demishin. "Junfei, come and see what good things I got this morning." "What makes you so excited?" Zayarshin, who was doing research, came out of the warehouse and looked at him with some dissatisfaction. He now felt like a boy who was playing games and his network cable was suddenly cut by someone. No matter who it was, he would not feel comfortable. Gian and as he threw the video recorder to him, "Look for yourself. This is precious information that you can never get now." Hearing what he said, Demishin's attention was attracted by the video recorder. What on earth would make him so important? When Izuki opened the video recorder and watched the beginning, he immediately understood the importance of the information and hurried back to the laboratory to start researching. TSK, this kid is still so serious. Yu and Dazi went straight to the kitchen. "I'd better think about lunch." It is certain that the appetite has increased after more than a dozen Izukis in the house, but the other clones of Izukis only need to maintain basic survival. From this point of view, the food they need now is not much more than before, and they can afford it. In the afternoon, Yu and Dazi used his mind to check on Nobita's situation, and found that the space blanket in their home was still closed. Since the other party had no intention of continuing to work, there was no need for him to go to see him, so he decided to see how to play in the afternoon. At this moment, there was a knock on the door outside, and Yu and Dazi immediately teleported to the door on the first floor and opened the door for him. An adult man dressed in black quickly walked into the room and closed the door of their house. This villain's behavior made Yu and Dazi a little excited. Who are you? What do you want to do with us? Are you going to rob us? It has been a long time since he met someone who was so blind to find him. Now that someone came to his door, he naturally had to teach him a lesson. You forgot about me again. The man took off his hood. I came to you today for a serious matter. Can you stop making such boring jokes? Zhao Hang, why did you come here? Yu and Dazi looked at Zhao Hang. He probably didn't tell the other party his address. Zhao Hang saw his cynical look and felt a headache. Kodomi Yoshifu told me. Let's not talk about this. I have something urgent. Do you know, there is a road of no return near this town, and everyone who walks into that alley will die. Road of no return. I think I heard about it. He remembered that Kodomi Yoshifu seemed to have mentioned it to him, but he had forgotten it long ago. His body had been severely damaged before, and he was really powerless to deal with that kind of weirdness, so it was naturally impossible for him to go over and take care of him. But now that it has recovered its heyday, he can go and look for it. After all, the alley is too close to him. They are already in this small town. If something happens to someone he knows, he will be sad. It is better to take some time to go and take a look. Then why did you come to me? He suddenly looked at the man in black. Don't you have any way to deal with that weirdo? It's not that I don't want to, but I can't find it at all. That alley seems to have a spirit. As long as I get close to it, it will disappear without a trace. So I went to talk to Kodomi Yoshio and planned to ask him to find 2 suitable baits for me. Yu and Dazi understood instantly. Then he told you about my story, right? Got it. I will deal with this matter later. But you can stay here for a while before leaving to prevent the weirdo from hurting people again. I have to make some preparations first. He planned to wait until Nobita's creation diary was finished before looking for the other party. After all, there are too many laws involved in this world. What he realized this morning was equivalent to the opportunities he got from several great adventures. Naturally, he would not do anything that neglected the main thing. Okay, then I'll leave the rest to you. Zhao Han put on his hat again. Call me if you need anything. Yu and Dazi nodded and watched Zhao Han leave. Then he walked out of the room and planned to go out for a walk. When he passed by Nobita's house, he suddenly discovered something. That is, Nobita and his family seemed to be in a very small house. How small is this house? It's probably only as big as his 2 palms together. Nobita and Doraemon are living in the house, enjoying the unique cool air and popsicles of this house, and their daily life is so comfortable. After seeing their situation clearly through his mental power, Yu and Dazi suddenly felt a little envious. Life with Doraemon is so comfortable. Thinking of this, a circle of strange magic patterns suddenly appeared around him, and then his body disappeared completely in an instant. When he opened his eyes again, Yu and Dazi was already standing in front of Nobita and Doraemon, who were the same size as him. Chapter 766 Mini Room. Yu and classmate, why are you here? Doraemon was startled by his appearance. Weren't they shrunk by props? Yu and as he gently patted the dust off his body, why can't I come? Don't you want to help your half-teaching teacher? Yu and as he basically helped him with his lessons for free this semester, so it can be said that half of the credit for this exam result lies with him. Nobita hurriedly came out to smooth things over. How is it possible? How could we not welcome you? Come in and enjoy the cool air together. Then he looked at Doraemon again. By the way, where is the full refrigerator of ice cream you mentioned? Take it out to entertain the guests. That's not there now. Doraemon stretched out a hand to Nobita. Give me some money and I'll go buy it. Huh. This is different from what we agreed. Nobita had to start digging through his pockets and finally took out 120 yen. At this moment, another hand put a 500 yuan coin in Doraemon's hand. Here, use this to buy ice cream. If you have extra money after buying it, you can buy some other snacks, such as your favorite dorayaki. What? Thank you so much. Doraemon took Yu and Dazi's hand and shook it frantically, then ran out of the small house. Nobita looked at his back and scratched his head in confusion. Strange. Can a dorayaki make you so happy? You don't know yet? Here, a dorayaki is different. And as he said meaningfully, and then turned on the TV. Nobita was confused and had to walk over and sit next to him. Really, and classmate, you are saying these meaningless words again. Not long after, a huge round egg roll suddenly fell outside their window, and even the ground shook. Hi, I'm back. Doraemon's voice came from the sky. Wait for me, don't eat secretly during this process. Hey? What's going on? Nobita looked at the ice cream cone that was taller than him, and felt that his world was about to collapse. Doraemon had already run over from a distance. Hurry up, let's eat the ice cream and teriyaki I bought. Wait, what's going on? Nobita pointed at the huge ice cream and teriyaki, still unable to accept this fact. And as he took out a small spoon, because we have shrunk, the things outside will become bigger, so we can eat freely. After saying that, he gave Nobita and Doraemon a spoon each, and then he took the lead in scooping a spoonful of ice cream and put it into his mouth. Nobita and Doraemon were not to be outdone and rushed into the ice cream with their things, and the ice cream began to disappear at a speed visible to the naked eye. I'm full. Nobita threw the spoon aside. I never thought that one day I could eat ice cream so happily. Yes, this is Ewan's treat. Doraemon ate so much that he became a fat man and rolled around. He not only ate ice cream, but also ate almost 1/3 of a teriyaki, which was a bit too much for even a robot. And as he, who ate more, stood beside him like nothing happened, burped comfortably, and was about 5/10 full. Doraemon, why do you have such a super mini prop? Isn't it tiring to make such a delicate thing? The smaller a prop is, the harder it is to make. This is basically a truth recognized by the world, so he didn't understand the meaning of this prop. Isn't it good to live in your own big house and take a nap comfortably on the floor? Why come here? Doraemon turned over with difficulty, looked at Nobita and explained seriously, need I say more? Of course it's because of the energy problem. Resources are limited. The oil that people rely on now will be mined sooner or later, and the pollution of nuclear energy is difficult to degrade. In the future, many places will use more efficient energy such as solar energy, but the energy they provide every day is limited. Then he pointed to the small house. Look, how much electricity does it take to turn on the air conditioner in this house for a day? And how much electricity does a real air conditioner consume in a day? I understand. As long as it becomes smaller, everyone will consume less energy and less food. That's it. Doraemon looked at him approvingly. It seems that Nobita's brain has become a lot smarter recently. Nobita then asked, so in order to save energy, will all the houses in the future be as small as this prop? Doraemon touched his head helplessly. No, haven't you been there? Because there are a lot of troubles after becoming smaller. The house is almost the same as it is now. I see. Nobita struggled to sit up. Then let me find Shizuka to come and see. She will definitely like it. But after taking 2 steps, Nobita fell to the ground all of a sudden. He had eaten too much just now, causing his body to be like a pregnant woman. And as he looked at his shaky steps and walked over helplessly, forget it, let me help you. I will convert the food you eat into energy. Exercise, boy. After saying that, he used the spell given to him by the old man on Nobita. Nobita's stomach quickly shrunk. His face gradually regained its spirit, and his feet began to move involuntarily. Strange, why do I want to exercise so much? Nobita felt the power in his body, and suddenly had an illusion that he could beat Fat Tiger. But soon he rushed to the Gulliver Tunnel. Forget it, Shizuka, just wait for me to find you. The smoke and dust generated by the high-speed movement swept through the small residence, and the two of them began to cough violently. This guy's exhaust emissions did not meet the standards. When the smoke and dust cleared, Doraemon's eyes showed approval. Young people nowadays are really energetic. It's almost the same. But if he keeps running like this, according to the current temperature, I guess even his clothes will be soaked, right? The clouds in the sky that blocked the sun quietly moved away, and the dazzling sunlight once again filled the earth, making the two of them a little uncomfortable. And as he took a step back and complained, even if the remaining energy is dissipated, I still hate the Sunday. Ever since he was injured by the sun god, no matter what his current physical condition is, he will feel uncomfortable as long as he sees the sun. Hey, Gian. Doraemon twisted his body. Come and help me quickly, it's too hot here. PFFT. Okay, I'll be right there. And as he walked over and pushed the round Doraemon into the house in circles, like making a snowman. Chapter 767. Someone stole the house. After placing Doraemon on the chair that was about to be deformed, and as he continued to watch the cartoon with a small ice cream in his hand. Are you kidding? Doraemon looked at him in disbelief. You haven't eaten enough yet? TSK, that little bit is just enough to whet my appetite. He scooped a spoonful of ice cream into his mouth, showing a satisfied look. Summer is really suitable for eating ice cream. And with his body, he doesn't worry about gaining weight at all. Now he just wants to eat dozens of meals just to survive. And King Gyu, who is a pure physical cultivator, needs to eat food when exercising now. If it is replaced by ordinary meals, it would probably fill a house. Doraemon burped with difficulty. You are really strange. My nuclear reactor needs a certain amount of time to digest food. Okay, don't beat around the bush and scold me. If you see Dekisugi, you will know that I'm actually quite normal. Huh. Dekisugi has also mutated. Doraemon was really shocked this time. Dekisugi obviously didn't seem to have any problems. And as he didn't want to talk about this. Now that he returned to the room and saw more than a dozen Izukis at work, his SYN value began to drop. Then he changed the subject. Let's not talk about this. How is the Genesis encyclopedia? The work should be quite normal, right? Don't worry, now that it's completed, and no one needs to supervise it. Doraemon yawned. It's not time to talk about work now. And as he was also a little worried. I wonder how the old man and the others are doing now, and what changes will the Archangel staff have? After the space blanket was closed, even he couldn't directly feel the situation inside, so he could only wait outside. Judging from Doraemon's appearance, he shouldn't let him interfere in these things. After all, this is Nobita's summer research, not his. After a while, Nobita pulled Shizuka to this house and said in a boastful manner, how is it? It's cool here, right? Indeed, it's much more comfortable than Sunya's. Shizuka closed her eyes and felt the air here. The temperature was just at a suitable level for living. Seeing Shizuka enjoying herself, Nobita was also very happy. That's great. Let's play games together. Unexpectedly, Shizuka suddenly put the small bag in front of Nobita. No, I didn't do my homework this morning. Now I have to finish today's homework before I can play. What? Shizuka, you finally have the opportunity to enjoy the cool air. Why do you have to do your homework first? Nobita was deflated when it came to homework. The environment here is so comfortable. How can you waste such a good time on doing homework? Anyway, no matter how much you write, the teacher will not just mark it as read and it's over. Why take it so seriously? But Shizuka still refused to back down and said firmly, it is because the environment is suitable that we have to hurry up and do our homework. Think about it, you don't want to write here. If there is no air conditioning, wouldn't you be even less likely to write? And isn't there someone to tutor you here? And Aski, who was eating ice cream next to him, suddenly felt a chill. Is it time to worry about Nobita again? Can we not pin our hopes on him? He is still a child, and he wants to live 2 more years after he grows up. In the end, at the request of the two, and Dazi was forced to become their tutor and teach them summer homework. As for his own homework, he had finished it on the first day of the holiday, and the two of them never worried about it. Exhausted again, and Dazi walked into the room, holding his liver. Today, Nobita still hit him very hard. Finally finished it. Shizuka put away the homework book comfortably. Doraemon, can you lend me the anywhere door now? Of course, no problem. Doraemon, who had returned to normal, put the anywhere door on the ground and asked Shizuka to go back to pack her things. And Nobita also passed through the Gulliver Tunnel, went up to put his homework away, and then looked forward to playing some games with Shizuka later. Not long after, Shizuka came back to the room with a box of shogi. Nobita, let's play shogi together. We haven't played for a long time. Okay. Nobita quickly found a place to sit down and started a pleasant shogi journey with Shizuka. Although Nobita is not good at many things, he is good at shogi and can easily beat Fat Tiger and Sunya. Once, Fat Tiger played from 3 PM to 8 PM to win Nobita and barely won once. Although there are props to help, it also reflects Nobita's shogi strength from the side, at least to levels higher than them. Time passed in a leisurely time. During this period, Fat Tiger and Sunia seemed to come over once, but did nothing. Just when Yu and Dazi was watching happily, a puff of black smoke suddenly came out, and there was a faint smell of burning. Oh no. Doraemon jumped up in fright. Everyone, hurry up and escape from here. This house seems to be on fire. This shout made Nobita and Shizuka, who were still in a daze, wake up and rush out of the nearest door without leaving anything. Yu and Dazi walked out with a dark face. He was watching TV just now, and it was exciting, and suddenly such a thing happened. Really? There's a fire somewhere. With a wave of his hand, a typhoon took shape in his hand. It's all their fault. He threw the typhoon in his hand out with force. The typhoon, which was originally only the size of a sesame seed, quickly grew wildly, and in the blink of an eye it was on par with Nobita's house. At the same time, the surrounding black smoke was quickly sucked into the typhoon, revealing Fat Tiger and Sunia, two guys who were trying to steal things. The others then saw the situation clearly. Fat Tiger, Sunia, why are they sneaking around here? Then, the dark typhoon mercilessly swept them in, and the two were forced to sing a duet in the air. Can't you see that? Gian and Dazi looked at him with a look of disappointment. Because they want to steal your mini house, idiot. Oh. Is that so? Nobita looked back at his house. Didn't he expect that this thing would be so popular? At this time, Shizuka also added, because the air conditioner in Sunia's house is broken, and your house does look very convenient, but I didn't expect them to take it away in this way. Nobita looked at the two people who kept screaming in the sky, and he still felt a little bit reluctant. Maybe he was born to be unable to bear to see others suffer? In the end, Nobita still looked at the angry Yu and Dazi, and said with courage, Yu and classmate, let's put them down. Yu and Dazi looked back at him and said, have you thought about it? They just wanted to covet your props. Well, since they also want to enjoy the mini house, let them come together. It's real fun to play together. Yu and Dazi slowly retracted his gaze. This child is really naive. But this is also the most touching thing about him. Thinking of this, Yu and Dazi withdrew his magic, and Fat Tiger and Sunia were forced to become about the same size as them by his magic. Looking at the two dizzy people, Yu and Dazi said solemnly, today, Dakshin begged for mercy, so I'll let you go. Why don't you thank him quickly? The two bowed to Dakshin with mosquito repellent eyes. Thank you very much, Lord Dakshin. No, no, no. Being addressed by them in such a respectful way, Dakshin suddenly felt dizzy, as if he had drunk alcohol, as if he was going to heaven. In this drunken and dizzy state, Dakshin generously took out his wallet. Just tell me what you want to eat. It's my treat today. And Yu and Dazi felt a headache again. I forgot that it is his characteristic, that he can go to heaven for a little thing. Chapter 768, Changes in the Back Mountain. At night, Fat Tiger tossed and turned in his bed, unable to sleep, thinking about what happened this afternoon. He and Sunia tried to take each other's house, but Nobita chose to forgive him and chose to share the mini house with them. In contrast, it was not right for him to beat Nobita up for a small matter. He should apologize. Finally, Fat Tiger sat up. Yes, I should go to Nobita to ask for forgiveness. Otherwise I really feel guilty. And as long as I apologize to him sincerely, maybe Nobita will be merciful and agree to let me join his holiday research. Thinking of this, Fat Tiger could no longer hold himself back and quickly put on his clothes and ran out, planning to go to Nobita's house now to apologize. While thinking about what to say, when he went to the door, he had already passed half of the journey unknowingly, and it would be Nobita's house soon. But not long after, Fat Tiger suddenly felt two golden lights flashing above his head, almost blinding his eyes. He looked up at the two balls of light. What are these two glowing things? They look a bit magical. Forget it, let's go and take a look first. Curiosity suppressed his thoughts of looking for Nobita, and he followed the two balls of light to the back mountain of the school. And if he is lucky enough, his summer research will also be solved. Not long after, Fat Tiger stood at the entrance of the back mountain, but he hesitated here because he was not sure if he could go in. I remember Yu and Dazi said that there are insects he raises in this back mountain. They are somewhat aggressive, but they have been restricted. In that case, as long as I don't go into the bamboo forest, it will be fine. Thinking of this, Fat Tiger raised his legs and stepped into the territory of the back mountain. After taking 2 tentative steps and confirming that there was no abnormality, Fat Tiger let go and quickly moved towards the location of the light spot. Because the queen insect had been born, Yu and Daisy had already closed the magic circle to avoid wasting his magic power in this place. Moreover, the queen insect was restricted by the agreement and could not attack humans. Now there were people guarding the snow bamboo forest, so there was no safety problem. Soon, Fat Tiger saw the 2 light sources and began to approach this unknown thing quietly. After all, he had experienced the great adventure of the universe and had seen all kinds of mysterious creatures, so although Fat Tiger was a little scared, he was more curious about the unknown. Can we only confirm here? Can't we more accurately determine the other party's location and his current identity? A young man's voice came from the light source. No, it's the limit to narrow the time range to this era. Okay. At this time, Fat Tiger gently pulled away the leaves blocking the way, and then he saw 2 glowing mantises communicating with language. The most strange thing for him was that, although he had not learned the other party's language, he could understand what the other party was saying. Great, it's really an alien. Fat Tiger covered his mouth. Now go back and notify Yuan who is capable of dealing with it to treat them. Who knew that, when he was about to evacuate, the mantis's eyes suddenly swept towards him and just found Fat Tiger. Who is it? The glowing mantis's antennae suddenly shot a beam of light at him. Damn it, I've been discovered. Fat Tiger was also a battle-hardened man. After being discovered, he decisively dodged the spot. The laser hit the ground and blasted a small hole. The power of this laser was not very strong, but the noise it made was not small. The sound was transmitted at least 100 meters. It was because of this laser that the sleeping Demolition clone in the back mountain suddenly woke up. It seemed that someone was maliciously destroying the environment of the back mountain just now. How dare you come here to act wild? Does this kid really think I don't exist? He must be taught a profound lesson. The previous move had already made him sure that the other party who came here late at night with destructive weapons was definitely not a good person, so he was naturally unhappy. Fat Tiger dodged the laser shot by the other party one after another. Damn it, I have to find a way to escape from here. Oh, escape to the snow bamboo forest. If Yuan Daisy really doesn't want the other party to enter here, then he is most likely to leave something in the snow bamboo forest. Thinking of this, Fat Tiger ran madly towards the snow bamboo forest. Now it seems that there is only one hope for his survival. The town is too far away. It is impossible to go down without 5 or 6 minutes, and the possibility of being caught by these insects on the trail down the mountain is too high. In comparison, the snow bamboo forest, which is closer and more tortuous, and has a greater possibility of being rescued, naturally became the only choice. Sure enough, after walking a few steps, a red light suddenly flashed in front of the insect behind him, indicating that there is danger approaching. Oh no, young master, there is danger ahead. A bug said to the young master in a hurry, let's leave here first. But the young master firmly refused. Absolutely not. We can't expose our existence now, otherwise our mission will become much more difficult. As soon as the voice fell, a tentacle made entirely of flesh and blood suddenly extended from the ground, accurately piercing the chest of the loyal guard. Shidluo. The young master was horrified when he saw this scene. This is impossible. Why do insectivores exist in this world? Shidluo stretched out his forelimbs to the young master with all his strength. Quick, go. Young master, leave here quickly. Then another tentacle with bloodshot sprang out from the ground, taking advantage of the young master's unpreparedness, and pierced the opponent's left forelimb. Pain, a pain that had never been experienced before, lingered in the young master's mind. His last consciousness made him activate the time control device and disappear in this world. It seems that this guy has a space device on him, and he actually let him run away. Chumushin's indifferent voice came from underground, which seemed a little illusory. The tentacle that pierced the young master's left forelimb also disappeared along with the young master's body. Then the flesh and blood under the ground emerged on the ground and quickly gathered together. The only one left is Fat Tiger. Forget it, let him lose his memory. After saying that, in order to keep the secret of his body, D-Mushin used a mental force on Fat Tiger, and Fat Tiger fainted directly. These clones can also use part of the ability of the original body. Although it is only a small part, it can do a lot of things. The young master who appeared in the time and space tunnel looked at the tentacles that kept wriggling and devouring in his left forelimb with hatred and quickly cut off his left forelimb. The ability of this blood-colored monster is very terrifying. The consequences of leaving its limbs in the flesh and blood are even more terrible than losing a forelimb. At least the lost forelimb can grow again. The severed forelimb fell into the time and space tunnel. After several twists and turns, it finally drifted to an unknown time and space. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 769, Panda's Perseverance. 2 days later, Nobita and Doraemon finally took out a white cloud and stood on it to see the world they created. Now this new world has evolved for 3 billion years, the environment has improved significantly, and the creatures have begun to grow explosively. Hey, you guys are not real. Yu and Daisy suddenly appeared behind them. Such a fun thing, you didn't even call me. Nobita and Doraemon were startled by his sudden appearance. Yu and classmate, why are you here? Don't worry about it. Don't you want to see the new world? Let's go together. As he spoke, he stood on the cloud and planned to go down together. Really, there is one more person for no reason. Nobita stood on it and began to control the cloud. Let's make it clear first, the god of this world can only be me. Yu and Daisy nodded. He was too lazy to fight for the only god. The title is useless. Moreover, he had gained a lot of benefits from the birth of life in this world some time ago, and it was even more impossible to fight with him for these things. After entering the space blanket, Nobita looked at the earth below and sighed inexplicably. From inside, my world is really not small. Doraemon nodded in agreement. Yes, this planet is actually very big, but it is still a little smaller than the real Earth. But Nobita didn't care. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the content of this Earth is exactly the same as the current Earth. And Yu and Daisy looked at this Earth and thought secretly, strange. Why can't I find the magic tools I flew in? According to the connection, the Dark Star Cloak now seems to be above the sky, in an untouchable place, but it can be seen at all times. The soul-devouring monument seems to exist in the soul of every creature, but after a careful search, it is found that none of them is his aggregate. As for the Star Sword and the Archangel Staff, he feels that these two things are everywhere, but they do not exist anywhere here. This makes him feel a little mentally confused. What benefits did these things get in this process that he didn't know about? It has evolved to the point where even his owner can't find it. This situation makes him feel a little palpitated for no reason. Before they knew it, they had arrived on this starry land, where mountains, rivers, plants, insects, fish, birds and beasts were all visible. Oh my god, has it evolved to this point? Nobita looked at this vibrant land, and a sense of pride spread from the bottom of his heart. Doraemon also reached out and patted his shoulder. Yes, these are all made by you. Aren't you very happy? Nobita nodded vigorously. This is the place he stirred up bit by bit, and he witnessed it change from rock to ocean, and then to the green water and green mountains now. And Yu and Daisy suggested, it's boring to look at it on the mountain, why don't we go down and see what creatures there are? That's right. Doraemon took the cane and began to manipulate the clouds with its help, planning to go to the river to have a look. The creatures here are the most abundant. If you want to see the characteristics of this place, then this must be the most convenient place. But what they didn't expect was that after they landed near the river, the surrounding environment was still terrifyingly quiet. There were no animal calls or walking sounds, as if there were no other creatures in this world, except them and the trees. Nobita poked Doraemon. Hey, didn't you say before that the number of species of organisms has begun to increase significantly? Why didn't I see any of them? Plants are also a type of organism. Yu and as he looked at the trees nearby. This is the proof of biodiversity. Only when the number of producers increases significantly, other consumers similar to humans can appear in large numbers, otherwise it is all empty talk. Doraemon nodded and wanted to say something, but suddenly closed his mouth and carefully observed the situation nearby. Shh, be quiet. He quickly interrupted Nobita, who was still about to speak. Don't make any noise, so as not to scare them. As soon as the voice fell, a small creature suddenly flew past and made a series of slightly annoying buzzing sounds. Did you see the insect just now? Doraemon explained. That may be the ancestor of mosquitoes or bees. As soon as the voice fell, a bolt of lightning split the creature into ashes. And as he slowly retracted his finger, sorry, I hate mosquitoes. The two of them wiped their cold sweat in fear. What if they become the object of his dislike someday? Forget it, let's not talk about this anymore. He looked at the 8-legged creature on the tree next to him. This creature, should it be the ancestor of spiders? Doraemon nodded. Judging from the size of this creature, it should be like this, although it has no ability to spin silk yet. But Nobita was so scared that he hid aside and trembled and kept muttering, I'm afraid of spiders. Spiders, don't come over. Oh, what a coward. Doraemon was also helpless about his situation. Nobita was just very afraid of these insects. And as he glanced at him calmly, the range of creatures that Nobita was afraid of could be listed on a list. Isn't it normal to be afraid of spiders? Doraemon, let's leave here quickly. Nobita quickly jumped onto the cloud. I don't want to stay here any longer. And as he and Doraemon both expressed their understanding and stood on the cloud with him, the three of them quickly flew into the empty sky. Seeing that he was a little farther away from those creatures, Nobita was relieved. Strange. Why are there only bugs now? Because other creatures are still in the water. Doraemon looked as if it was a matter of course. Doesn't this kid know how creatures evolve? But soon he remembered that Nobita did not seem to know the evolution process of creatures. Let me explain to you. Now the larger animals are generally aquatic creatures. If they want to enter the land, the structure of their body needs to change. And as he suddenly interrupted, and the evolution of creatures, especially the change of body structure, takes a long time, so now terrestrial creatures are generally bugs. Doraemon nodded. Yes, that's it. Now just wait patiently. Unexpectedly, Nobita grabbed Doraemon's head and wailed, no, I don't want to wait so long for creatures to evolve slowly. Hurry up and create a world with dinosaurs or humans for me. If it doesn't work, evolve pandas. Hearing this, and as he suddenly glanced at him, it seems that the people in this place are really obsessed with pandas. They can actually remember it at this time. Chapter 770, Intersecting Roads. In the end, Doraemon couldn't persuade Nobita, so he nodded and agreed. I know, I'll find a way right away. Since you want to interfere with biological evolution, then go directly to the sea. He had to give up the river and choose the place with the most biological species. Forget it, I'll take you there. And as he activated the law of space, I don't know how long it will take to fly slowly like this. The two of them only felt that the scene in front of them seemed to be in a trance for a moment, and then they appeared above the ocean with the white clouds. It's really convenient. Doraemon sighed, and then landed on the nearby coast. This place just meets the conditions I want. After saying that, Doraemon took out a prop from his pocket. Look at my secret prop. Grab a rocket launcher. TSK, what a hassle. And as he gently raised his hand, and all kinds of fish suddenly flew out of the sea. Then and as he pointed at the fish in the air, have you forgotten that you were looking for a telephone booth in the garbage mountain? This kind of thing is easy for me. TSK, you're showing off again. Nobita pursed his lips unhappily. It's just that he has superpowers. Can he do whatever he wants? It seems that he can. Nobita was shocked and squatted down beside him, constantly drawing a circle with his fingers. Damn, this guy must be doing it on purpose. Doraemon was so angry that he took out a hairdryer. I don't believe you can do this. After saying that, he shone a beam of light at the school of fish in front of him, and their body shape and structure seemed to have changed to a certain extent. This is an evolution and degeneration ray gun. Can your magic make people evolve or degenerate? You definitely can't do it. I really can't do this. And as he could only admit this point. Magic doesn't seem to have this part. Now all he can do is practice and let his body structure continue to evolve as his strength increases, but he can't let others do the same. But if he really understands the way of life like the Saint Nua, maybe he can really do this. Hearing Yu and Dazi admit his shortcomings, Nobita's confidence returned immediately, and he made a face at Doraemon. Yu and Dazi didn't mind. If he couldn't do it, he couldn't do it. With his mentality, he wouldn't bother with Nobita about these things. And it is necessary to admit one's shortcomings. Only by understanding one's shortcomings can one constantly surpass the past self. Just when the three of them were fighting openly and secretly, a bug next to them quietly passed behind Doraemon's evolution and degeneration light. Even Yu and Dazi didn't notice this small detail, and it became a history that he couldn't change. After a few seconds, Doraemon felt that the degree of evolution of this creature was almost enough, so he retracted his evolution and degeneration light. Okay, let's leave now. Doraemon jumped onto the white cloud. Give these creatures some time to evolve freely. This is all I can do after watching it. Nobita seemed a little disappointed. Wouldn't it be better if he could see dinosaurs or something today? Yu and Dazi touched his head and said to himself in confusion, strange. I always feel like I forgot something. Come up quickly. We disinfected before coming here, just to worry that the bacteria on our bodies would flow into this world. Doraemon stretched out his hand to Yu and Dazi and urged him, but it will still be dangerous if you stay too long, so don't keep dawdling. I know, I'm definitely cleaner than you guys. He rolled his eyes, then grabbed Doraemon's hand and stood on the white cloud. Under the leadership of this god cloud, the three of them successfully escaped from this super ancient world. It's really strange. Where did the magic device go? He looked back at the planet on display. Will it never be taken back? These things are his important source of combat power. If they are all lost, he will be in big trouble in future battles. However, the connection between the two is still there, which also gave him a little thought. Maybe he can get it back the next few times he comes. When the clouds returned to the outside world, Yu and Dazi waved goodbye to them. Thank you for your hospitality. I will go back first. Be careful on the road. Nobita and Doraemon also waved goodbye to him. Although he came unexpectedly, he did not cause them any trouble. From this point of view, they did not dislike Yu and Dazi's sudden visit. At least he was better than Fat Tiger and would not force them to do anything. After returning, Yu and Dazi found that Izuki was waiting for him with an iron stick in his hand. You are finally back. Izuki threw the stick to Yu and Dazi. Try it and see if this weapon can use magic. Let me see. Yu and Dazi looked at the iron stick in his hand that was emitting blue light and suddenly felt a little surprised. Has this guy successfully brought his technology to the field of magic? Sure enough, technology and magic are connected at a high level. At the same time, Izuki's other clone moved the metal baffle in front of them as a target for this magic attack experiment. Yu and Dazi injected his magic power into the staff, and the blue light path around it quickly lit up. The energy point at the center of the staff quickly powered the magic. A few seconds later, a blue lightning shot out from the sharp front end of the staff and hit the top of the metal baffle. The energy index above the shield rose rapidly, and soon, the energy value measured by the attack stopped at 7,000. Then Yu and Dazi followed Chumushin's instructions and used almost the same magic power to attack the metal baffle with his bare hands. The magic energy index of this attack was lower and finally stopped at 5,200, which was the basic value of the previous attack. The increase in magic energy is about 2,000, which is within 5% of the value measured under normal circumstances. Chumushin took the metal staff and gently pushed forward on a certain line with his fingers, and lightning hit the metal baffle again. This time the value displayed was 1850. It can be seen that Mushin was still a little dissatisfied. No, the output power is still low. It's already very good. Ordinary people with this staff can basically fight with Dr. KOs. Yu and Dazi was also a little surprised. He didn't expect that Mushin had created such a powerful thing so quickly. The development of science is really rapid. If he continues to study and constantly improve his knowledge reserves and the sophistication of parts, what can he achieve? Even if he can't do it, what about the accumulation of human generations? When he thought of that scene, Yu and Dazi couldn't help but shudder. No wonder technology is recognized by the way of heaven. Chapter 771 New Partner. The next morning, Nobita was woken up by Doraemon again. At this time, the TV screen was showing a creature walking from the water to the riverbank. Great. Nobita was so happy to see this scene that he couldn't describe it. Finally, a creature has come ashore. Then dinosaurs will be born. Yes, for us, dinosaurs will be born soon. Seeing him so happy, Doraemon's mood also improved a lot. The first time he did this summer research seriously, he succeeded. The process was smoother than he thought. He thought that Nobita would have to fail several times before he could find a way. It seems that Nobita is quite talented in doing these things. Nobita, congratulations, you have created the world for 4 billion years. Doraemon took his hand. It will take another 500 million years for humans to be born. Nobita also nodded. He has waited for the birth of humans for too long, and today he can finally see the results. Nobita, Doraemon, come down to eat. The mother's voice came from below, and the two hurried downstairs and sat next to the dining table. The soft croissants and half-cooked fried eggs on the table were emitting fragrance, and with a little green parsley, it was appetizing. I'm starting. The two poked the fried eggs, letting the slightly sweet yolk flow on the bread, and then took a bite. Looking at the two children eating, Nobita's father flipped through the newspaper. Nobita, how is your globe going? Hearing about the globe, Nobita was stunned for a moment, then reacted, oh, you mean that it will be done soon. While talking, the mother put 2 more sizzling bacon on their plates, and the aroma of meat mixed with butter filled the air. The blue fat man quickly finished the food on the plate, and then said, Nobita, eat quickly, the dinosaurs are about to appear. Yeah. Hearing that the creature he wanted to see was about to appear, Nobita quickly wrapped the bacon on the bread and ate it in 2 or 3 bites. I'm full. Nobita and Doraemon shouted in tacit understanding, and then quickly returned to the second floor to prepare to see the dinosaurs. Dad still didn't react. He looked at their backs and muttered to himself, Mom, did they talk about dinosaurs just now? It should be a special program for the summer vacation. Nobita's mother didn't care. She picked up a cup of black tea with milk and honey and started breakfast at the table. Yu and Daisuke, who had been monitoring this place with his mental power, took a look at the unchanging meat in front of him and silently put down his knife and fork. Damn it. Yu and Daisuke has lost his appetite now. Why can they eat so deliciously? After saying that, he disappeared in the room. Anyway, he can also provide energy through magic to maintain the normal operation of his body. Seeing him leave, Kingayu took his plate by himself. Anyway, he hasn't eaten a bite yet. It's a waste to throw it away. Chumushin didn't stop him. Although his body needs energy now, he is not a physical cultivator. As long as the energy is enough for him to live, it's fine. In comparison, Kingayu, who has to exercise a lot every day, needs more blood and ki. This kind of thing can be let go. So that's how it is. Demishin also quickly finished the remaining food. I'm leaving first. Is it okay for you to be home alone? Kingayu made an okay gesture to him with his left hand and continued to stuff the meat on the plate into his mouth with his right hand. Seeing him so energetic, Demishin was relieved and turned to walk out the door. Nobita is making big news again, and I can't be absent. He had discovered that Yu and Daisuke had been observing something before, and when he disappeared, he found that he went to Nobita's house. Then he also discovered that the world was gradually improving, which happened to be in the dinosaur era. This was the place he had always dreamed of. So when he saw this scene, he couldn't wait to get ready to go. This time he had to go no matter what. In Nobita's room, they were watching the screen on TV, and Doraemon explained to him, this is Herosaurus, one of the oldest dinosaurs. This is Eoraptor, the earliest dinosaur we know so far, and its body size is only as big as a dog. The screen kept flashing, and various early dinosaurs kept appearing, which made Nobita's mood keep rising. Doraemon, let's go down and take a look. Nobita suggested with a smile. As a god, I think it is necessary to go down and take a look around. That's right, let's go. Doraemon stood up and took out the god cloud of the Genesis Encyclopedia props. At this time, Yu and Daisuke stood at the door at the right time. I heard that you are going to see dinosaurs. Why don't you ask me to join you? We thought you were still sleeping. The two of them quickly put on a smile. By the way, how come this guy always comes so timely? Gian and as he walked into the door and took a look at the TV next to him, which was showing the scene on the earth. It's actually a raptor? It seems that dinosaurs have only been around for a short time. Gian and as he glanced at the screen and roughly determined the period below. Doraemon nudged Nobita with his elbow. Look at how knowledgeable he is. When can you use your mind to study? TSK, it's none of your business. Nobita glanced at Doraemon angrily. How can this guy lecture him at any time? Yu and as he also stood on the god cloud. Okay, let's go quickly. I'll go down and see the earth in this period. Doraemon nodded, then used his cane to knock open the space blanket and began to control the god cloud to go to the earth in this period. At this moment, Nobita's mother suddenly called out from the bottom of the stairs. Nobita, Dekisugi is here to see you. Why don't you come down quickly? Huh? Dekisugi? What is he doing here? Doraemon suddenly braked and threw Nobita off the god cloud. Then Doraemon looked at Yu and Dazi again. Since both of you are coming, why don't you come together? Don't get me wrong, I didn't know he was coming. Yu and Dazi quickly spread his hands, saying that he really didn't know his arrangement this time. Forget it, a guest is a guest. Doraemon pushed Nobita out the door. Just call him along. Our family will receive a lot of care from them in the future. The current prime minister is Dekisugi's grandson, and the fact that the brothers and sisters can hold some precious props is also related to this. Of course, most of this is due to the immutability of the past, and their family just went with the flow. Soon, Nobita and Daisuke came to the second floor, and everyone stood on the god cloud together. Okay, everyone is here. Doraemon used his cane to control the god cloud. Then let's go now. Chapter 770 To the Age of Dinosaurs. The four of them floated down to the earth, looking down at the creatures on the earth from above. From this angle, they really looked like gods. Nobita looked at the creatures below and shouted, "Look over there, those dragons are so big, they are almost like small mountains." Izuki looked at the giant dinosaur in front of him and smiled and said, "This is a brontosaurus, a herbivorous animal with a relatively gentle personality." Really? Then I should be able to touch it, right? Thinking of this, Nobita took out a bamboo dragonfly from his pocket and slowly approached it. The target that Nobita was looking at was the strongest of all the brontosauruses. It seemed that he should be the leader of this large group. With the help of the bamboo dragonfly, Nobita stopped beside the head of the brontosaurus, which was even bigger than him, and slowly reached out to touch its head. The brontosaurus seemed to have discovered this strange creature, but it did not seem to be hostile or threatening, so it just let him do what he wanted. So cute. Nobita touched it and pressed his whole body against it. It feels cold to the touch, and the skin is a little rough. Seeing their intimate interaction, the people present did not stop them, but cast their eyes elsewhere. It's just that it's still the early days of the birth of dinosaurs, and there are relatively few species of dinosaurs, which makes them a little disappointed. Deki looked at these creatures and wanted to get some tissues to study them. After all, this might be his only chance to come into contact with dinosaurs. But their early contact with dinosaurs might cause unpredictable effects, which made him a little entangled. And as he looked at the creatures below, silently opened the detection range to the maximum and began to watch the creature's every move. Not long after, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Sure enough, those little bugs have begun to evolve and take root in this land. The insects below seemed to have a certain degree of intelligence, and the degree of evolution was not much less than that of the insects in their world. But unfortunately, due to the limitations of the insect's own size and brain, the path of evolution for these insects is more difficult than that of humans. At this time, Nobita was tired of interacting with the brontosaurus and used the bamboo dragonfly to return to the clouds, wanting to see the more majestic Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Doraemon was slightly surprised. Do you want to see the Tyrannosaurus Rex now? But there is no Tyrannosaurus Rex in this period. Izuki also smiled and explained to him, it should be the Triassic period now, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex will not be born until the Cretaceous period. If you want to see it, then let's speed up the flow of time and go to the world tens of millions of years later. While speaking, Doraemon had already turned a button on the cane, and the time around them began to flow rapidly. At this moment, Yu and Azi and Izuki-shan both felt that the rules between heaven and earth seemed to have changed dramatically, especially the law of time. After a few seconds of light and shadow changes, they came to the late Cretaceous period, and the number and types of dinosaurs around them became very rich. Looking at this scene, Yu and Azi immediately began to summarize what had just happened, and what he had gained in this short process. What he did just now was not to speed up the flow of time, but to jump from one time point to another. In other words, according to the theory of the original world, what Doraemon did just now is equivalent to a four-dimensional creature. TSK, this ability is a bit terrifying. He could only smile helplessly. Creating a world really allows you to do whatever you want. If he successfully creates a complete world in the future, maybe he can also do this. What a magical prop. Nobita looked at the surrounding environment, and then was immediately attracted by the huge creature below. Great, it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex. After that, he controlled the bamboo dragonfly to leave the god cloud, flew to the side of the Tyrannosaurus Rex and shouted, "Tyrannosaurus Rex, I wanted to see you a long time ago." The Tyrannosaurus Rex seemed to hear his voice, looked back at Nobita, opened his mouth and roared loudly. Roar. The momentum of the king broke out completely at this moment, and all the creatures around immediately put down their hands and began to flee. Even the sky was not at peace, and all kinds of flying dragons fled around like crows. Where is the momentum of the predator? Then the Tyrannosaurus Rex looked at Nobita, opened his mouth and bit down, intending to eat this creature. That provoked him into his stomach. Gian and Azi quickly took out a small metal Rubik's Cube from his pocket, and then this mechanical object began to look to both sides. The metal continued to deform and stretch, and in just half a second, the Rubik's Cube turned into the metal stuff from yesterday afternoon. The sky, which was already very gloomy, became even more depressing. Gian and Azi gathered the staff over his head. Lightning magic, thunder, crack. A dazzling lightning fell on the Tyrannosaurus Rex's body when its mouth was about to close on Nobita. In the flash of lightning, several people present seemed to see the bones of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which were almost exactly the same as those in the exhibition hall. The huge voltage broke the air, and even Nobita was caught in the disaster, and was electrocuted to spit out a mouthful of gas with a slightly burnt smell. Nobita. Doraemon quickly controlled the god cloud to fly to the side of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Speak quickly, you are not electrocuted to death. Gian and Azi scratched his ears. If he had known this would happen, he would have simply used light magic to cut off the head of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, it was not fatal. The attack just now had not exceeded the limit of a third-level magician, which means that it would not really hurt Nobita. Sure enough, Nobita woke up a few seconds later, drooling and speaking incoherently. Abba abba. It's over. This spell has electrocuted him into a fool. Gian and Azi rolled his eyes at him, and then used magic to heal Nobita. The reason why he chose the lightning spell just now was that he didn't want to kill the Tyrannosaurus Rex. After all, it didn't do anything wrong. Phew, I was scared to death. After waking up, Nobita immediately began to blame Yu and Azi. What are you doing? Can't you use a different magic to save people? Yu and Azi continued to roll his eyes at him. You dared to resist the Big Bang with your body, and you are afraid of a little lightning? Forget it, don't be angry. Doraemon quickly came out to smooth things over. After all, he is also kind to save you, so don't be angry. Nobita did not respond to him, but snorted coldly, and then turned his head away in a huff. Okay, I think we'll stop here today. Doraemon controlled the god cloud. Anyway, we've seen everything we wanted to see. Is there anything else you want to see, Nobita? Nothing else. Nobita shook his head. After being electrocuted, he didn't want to see anything. Chapter 773 The Fate of Creatures. The others expressed no objection, and after secretly taking some biological samples, Dekisugi also agreed to their proposal. The group left the small Earth through the god cloud. In space, Nobita was still upset about being struck by lightning just now. Really, why did you use lightning magic? He looked at Yu and Azi and whispered, it would be better to use ice magic, and there would be no accidental injuries. Hearing this, Yu and Azi just rolled his eyes. I told you that you can't die because of such a small thing, even though you don't know it yourself. Okay, stop arguing. Dekisugi hurriedly came out to attract attention. Look, there is a meteor over there. Everyone's eyes immediately focused on the fast-moving meteorite, but compared to them, it was less than the size of a fist. Doraemon took a look and said, if we convert it by proportion, the radius of this meteorite is about 10 kilometers. Then he looked at the Earth again. According to the trajectory, this planet should pass by the Earth. It's okay. No, you just thought of the situation without gravity. If there is the attraction of the Earth, then it should be just. At this point, Izuka's expression changed. This size, it can't be the meteorite that ended the dinosaur era. What? Nobita stood up in fear. Are the dinosaurs he created going to become extinct? But they were born not long ago. No choice, Nobita had to grab the god's cane. It's okay, dinosaurs, I will use props to protect you right away. After saying that, he pressed the button on the top of the cane twice in a row, and arc blue lightning shot out from the bottom of the cane, trying to destroy the meteorite. At this moment, another equally terrifying lightning intercepted this lightning, detonating this dark blue energy one step ahead of him. Gian and Asuki. Nobita looked at him holding the metal staff, very dissatisfied. Are you just going to watch the dinosaurs become extinct? He took back his metal staff calmly. The development of organisms has its own destiny. There is no need to forcibly change the trajectory of the world. Doraemon also nodded in agreement. Yes, organisms are constantly destroyed and evolved, and finally we were born. As God, what you should do is not to interfere with the development of the general direction because of personal preferences. Destruction is also a necessary stage in the biological process. Seeing that Yanshumashin also agreed with this, Nobita knew that he was completely hopeless, and his dinosaurs would never exist again. Doraemon, I'm so unwilling. Nobita could only throw down his staff and lie on Doraemon and burst into tears. Doraemon also slowed down the speed of the god cloud. With a loud bang, they slowly closed the door of the space blanket, and Nobita was still crying on Doraemon. He still couldn't accept that his favorite dinosaurs were gone. Really, stop crying. Yu and Azhi scratched his ears. Only when the dinosaurs die, the giant pandas and humans you love will be born. Understand? When they heard the word giant panda, everyone's ears perked up. This term seemed to be more attractive to them than humans. Are you serious? Nobita stopped crying. Will giant pandas really come out in the future? The kind of black and white, chubby, and cute giant pandas? Yes, they are the same as those in China, and they are all yours. Yu and Azhi looked at him with disdain. How much does this guy like giant pandas? Demushan was also a little happy. That's great. I wanted to touch a giant panda a long time ago, but unfortunately I never had the chance. Then you could have told me earlier. Yu and Azhi scratched his ears. If he had told me earlier, he would have taken him to China for a stroll. Although giant pandas are very precious to the outside world, they are not particularly rare in China. As long as you go to Ishikawa, you can still see them if you want. As for the passport issue, please, after so many adventures, when did they go to a foreign country to apply for a passport? Is Nobita here? Fat Tiger's voice suddenly came from the first floor. I'm here to apologize for what happened last time. Please forgive me. Hearing Fat Tiger's voice, Nobita was unhappy again. Really? Why did you come here at this time? It should still be for a search. I'll go send him away. Doraemon went downstairs and asked Fat Tiger to dispel this unrealistic idea. After all, this world was created by them with great effort, and Fat Tiger didn't contribute, so why should they come to share the results? Although Yu and Asuki and Imushin also participated, they were just here to visit, so they didn't refuse them. After Doraemon went down with a frown, Fat Tiger hurriedly greeted him with a smile. Doraemon, Nobita is not here again. Doraemon nodded. Yes, he has been busy with free research recently, so he is often not at home. Don't be like this. I know he must still be angry with me. Fat Tiger guessed the reason, but it was indeed his fault, so he had to lower his posture. By the way, this is a little gift from me. Fat Tiger handed the things in his hand to the blue fat man. Please accept them, and then forgive me. Doraemon glanced and found that there were brand new comic books inside, and the covers were all hardcover editions. After seeing this scene, Doraemon instantly understood that these books were definitely not from Fat Tiger, and most of them came from Sunia. So he quickly pushed the books back. No, we can't accept these things, otherwise Nobita won't be happy. No, please accept it. Fat Tiger suddenly pushed the things into Doraemon's arms, and then ran out of the door. He must not let him return the books. Oh, really? Doraemon quickly put on the bamboo dragonfly and chased out. I said we don't want them, and these things are not yours. The two started a chase and escape battle, because Doraemon had to return the books to Fat Tiger. If he returned them directly to Sunia, then Fat Tiger could use the comic books he gave to Nobita as a threat to let him join this research. Anyway, the things have been given to Nobita, so it is up to them to decide what to do with them. Fat Tiger just needs to hold on to this point. Fat Tiger's running speed naturally cannot keep up with Doraemon's bamboo helicopter. He is soon caught up by Doraemon and starts to aim at it with the things in his hand. As long as he successfully hangs these books on Fat Tiger's body, then his mission of this trip will be successfully completed. But at this moment, he suddenly saw a truck driving at the fork in the road next to him. If this continues, Fat Tiger will definitely be crushed by the wheels. It's too late. Doraemon hurriedly drove the bamboo helicopter at the fastest speed. Fat Tiger, I'll come to save you right away. Chapter 774 Fat Tiger gives up joining. The moment Fat Tiger ran across the street, he saw the truck that was about to rush over, and it was less than 2 meters away from him. I'm done. At this moment, Fat Tiger's mind flashed 1,000 thoughts. Whether it's backing up or moving forward, it's too late. The truck driver didn't see the child at all, because Fat Tiger was too close, and was completely in the other party's blind spot. In other words, this truck that suddenly appeared could not slow down actively, and Fat Tiger no longer had any chance to escape on his own. Danger. Doraemon's bamboo dragonfly was at full power and rushed in front of Fat Tiger. Don't do such a terrible thing, okay? The fat body drew a perfect U-shaped curve in the air. At this critical moment, Doraemon successfully carried Fat Tiger into the air. Looking at the truck driver leaving below, Fat Tiger felt as if his heart was about to jump out. They had experienced so many adventures, but never once did he feel so close to death. Just now he seemed to see heaven. Thank you so much, Doraemon. Forgive me for causing you trouble. Fat Tiger, who came to his senses, hurriedly thanked Doraemon. Doraemon flew down and put Fat Tiger down. It's okay, I'll be thankful if you don't do those unnecessary things. He was frightened by what happened just now. Although the usual chasing and playing is nothing, accidents always happen inadvertently. I know. Fat Tiger stretched out his hand to Doraemon. Give me back the comics. I won't bother you again. Speaking of this, Doraemon touched his head a little embarrassedly. I don't know where I threw it when I saved you just now. Because he had to free up his hands to hold the person, Doraemon threw the things away in a hurry. There was nothing he could do. The situation just now was very critical. If a little accident caused Fat Tiger's hand or even death, he would feel guilty. In comparison, a bag of comics seemed too insignificant. It was obvious which one Doraemon would give up. Seeing this, Fat Tiger couldn't say anything more. I know, I will take care of the rest. You can study without worry. Seeing that Fat Tiger still had a conscience, Doraemon also relaxed, waved to Fat Tiger, and planned to go back to report to Nobita. But at this moment, Sunia suddenly rushed out from the side. Fat Tiger, you hurry up and return those comics to me. Those comics are out of print. I specially asked my father's publishing house to get them back. This time you have to return them to me no matter what. To ask Fat Tiger for something, Sunia also mustered up the courage of his life. These are unique and can't be copied. There is also the author's autograph. Fat Tiger lowered his head. Now even if I want to return it to you, I can't return it to you. I have lost the comics. Although it was Doraemon who lost it, it was lost to save him, so he would not let his benefactor take the blame for him. Seeing this, Sunia sat on the ground in despair and cried, what should I do? That's my favorite comic. I can't live anymore. After saying that, he was about to hit the nearby wall with his head, but was stopped by Doraemon. Okay, I'll help you. After saying that, he took out the familiar prop from his pocket, lost and found retrieval machine. Use this thing to retrieve the comics. After saying that, he shone the headgear on Sunia's head. Okay, now imagine what those comics you lost look like. How can I possibly think of it? I just got it back today. Sunia put down the headgear in frustration. It seems that he is destined to have no chance with this thing. Doraemon also touched his head. If he had known that this would happen, he would have reluctantly bought the retrieval back some time ago. Is this what you are looking for? A voice like the sound of nature suddenly sounded. I saw what happened just now. Hearing this, the three people present looked up together and found that the person who retrieved the special comics for them was actually Izuki Issei. Mr. Izuki? Doraemon touched his head. Aren't you with them? How come you suddenly appear here? Who am I with? Izuki was confused for a moment. He had just come back from other places to purchase parts. How come he was alone all the time? Then he understood instantly that it was another avatar who was with someone, but it had nothing to do with him. Anyway, the original body said from the beginning that everyone is an independent individual and there is no need to interfere in other people's affairs if it is not necessary. And Doraemon understood immediately. Yes, I remembered it wrong. Sunia, why don't you thank Izuki? Just now he almost told others about the relationship between Izuki and Nobita, but fortunately the child reacted faster than him. Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. Izuki. Sunia quickly took the comics and then quickly left Fat Tiger with these things. He didn't want the comics in his hand to be snatched away by Fat Tiger again, otherwise he didn't know if he would have such good luck next time. Fat Tiger also said politely, then I'll go back first. My family still needs me to look after the store, so I can't leave for too long. Looking at the backs of the two people leaving, Doraemon poked Demoshin with his hand. Classmate Demoshin, your reaction speed is really fast. If you hadn't reacted in time, Fat Tiger would definitely know that I was lying, and he might have pestered us at that time. Is that so? Demoshin scratched his head a little embarrassedly. He really just happened to come back from outside. How could it be so complicated? Things here are finally resolved. Doraemon pulled Demoshin back. Let's go back quickly. I just modified the timeline. Humans are about to be born. Hearing this, Demoshin's face changed instantly. If he followed Doraemon back, it would be over. The original body repeatedly warned that they must not expose their affairs. If they broke this rule, they would definitely be recycled. Because Demoshin doesn't want others to know that he has become a monster, so he will block the news. This is his bottom line. You go back first. Izuki's clone gently opened Doraemon's hand. I need to go home first. I need to get some things. Is that so? Doraemon looked at Izuki's back as he hurriedly left, his tone full of confusion, but he didn't think much about it. After the clone left, he immediately took out a special intercom headset to contact the original body and told him what happened here. Currently, the memories of clones cannot be communicated with each other, which is also a very annoying thing, but there are also benefits. After all, after becoming a complete person, no one wants to have no secrets in front of others. Then I'll go back by myself first. Doraemon started the bamboo dragonfly. I really want to see what humans look like when they are first born. Chapter 775 The World After the Birth of Humankind. At this time, Izuki learned everything that had just happened from the headset. He glanced at Nobita who was sleeping because of boredom. This time, there was no need to fool around. Yu and as he was still sorting out the new metal staff next to him. It was estimated that he would not deliberately leak the secret, so it was not a big problem. Hi, I'm back. Doraemon flew in directly from the window, landed on the ground, and looked at everyone in the room, a little confused. Izuki classmate, didn't you just say that you were going back to get something? Why are you still here? Yu and Daisuke, who was reading a comic next to him, glanced at Junfei. Did Junfei go out just now? Why didn't he have any impression of this? He thought about it and understood that it was probably Izuki's clone that Doraemon had just encountered and the real body had never left. At this moment, he suddenly put down the comic and he remembered that he couldn't tell which Izuki was the real one. Zayanshin nodded and took out a camera from his pocket because I suddenly remembered that I don't have to go there myself. Oh, that's how it is. Doraemon didn't dwell on this issue too much and turned around to wake up Nobita on the ground. Seeing that everyone was gathered, Doraemon opened the space blanket again. Then let's go and see humans now. At this time, humans had just evolved and were still in the most primitive era. Being able to see human activities during this period is also very precious information. And Doraemon also wanted to take this opportunity to stimulate Nobita and let him cherish the life he has now. Are we the only ones? And as he glanced at the 4 people on the cloud, still a little unbelievable, didn't Fat Tiger and Sunia follow you? Doraemon looked at him in confusion. Why did they follow me? There is no need to ask them to join. Nothing, just a casual question. Although and as he was surprised about the sudden disappearance of these people, he didn't say much. Anyway, in his impression, their roles in this movie were pitifully small, and there was no part of reversing the situation, so it didn't matter whether there was a problem or not. Just as Doraemon was about to leave, Nobita stopped him again. Wait a minute, I'm going to call Shizuka over. Anyway, Shizuka has already done her summer research. It would be a shame if she wasn't allowed to participate in such a fun thing. After that, he took out a bamboo dragonfly from his pocket and disappeared in front of everyone. Doraemon couldn't help but curl his lips. You really think of Shizuka when you have something good to do. And as he gently poked Demission, don't you want to try your best to pursue her? Demission shook her head. No, there is isolation between different species, and I don't want Shizuka to get too close to us. After all, you know that if they get involved with us, it's equivalent to opposing the gods. I don't want them to be in danger again. After hearing Demission's words, and as he sneered, as if they would be safe if they didn't meet the gods. I've been to so many theaters with them. Which theater was not life-threatening? Too much debt is not a burden. Soon, Nobita and Shizuka flew in from the window. Okay, let's go together now. Really, we are wasting time again. Doraemon looked at his watch. Tens of thousands of years have passed in a flash. Then Doraemon knocked the space blanket open with his cane again, and the 5 of them re-entered the space blanket and began to appreciate this new world. After re-entering the atmosphere, a gust of cold wind blew in their faces, almost freezing Nobita and the others into popsicles. It's so cold. Nobita covered his body and shivered. Strange. Why is the temperature so low? This is not scientific at all. Deki felt the temperature of the air, and according to his perception, it was about -20 degrees. Strange. This temperature is abnormally low. Gian and Eiji quickly set up a magic barrier. Doraemon, hurry back to the god cloud. Doraemon quickly returned to the cloud, and the temperature inside the barrier stabilized at 25 degrees, which is the optimal temperature for warm winter and cool summer. It's finally warm. Doraemon leaned on Nobita. I'm an excellent cat-shaped robot, and I'm most afraid of the cold. You can tell 2 lies in this sentence, which is quite amazing. And as he complained silently in his heart, but he gave him some face. Then Doraemon began to take out his pocket. Wait a minute, I have a prop here that can be used right now. Contrary cream. Not long after, Doraemon had a bottle of something similar to baby cream in his hand, and took a little lotion, and applied it on everyone's face. But Izuki and and as he refused. Zyashin wanted to exercise his antibodies against low temperatures, but and as he didn't need it at all. After confirming that everyone had taken protective measures, and as he unlocked the magic barrier, and the cold wind enveloped everyone's body again. But this time with the props, such a low temperature made everyone feel like they were in the hot summer, just like standing under the summer sun. Nobita also breathed a sigh of relief. Finally everything is fine. Why is the temperature so low here? Did we come at the wrong time? There is indeed a problem. Even in the Ice Age, the temperature is abnormally low. Doraemon also began to feel the weirdness here. Shizuka looked up at the sun in the sky, her face full of worry. Do you think the sun in the sky seems to be a little smaller? Really? Let me see. Doraemon took out a magnifying glass with a scale and began to roughly estimate the diameter of the sun. It is indeed a little smaller than outside. Doraemon put away the magnifying glass. It should be that some matter accidentally lost during the previous explosion. Speaking of this, Nobita remembered the previous Big Bang, the power of which almost made him ascend to heaven on the spot. But you can't blame me for this. Nobita spread his hands and defended himself. This is force majeure. There's nothing I can do. Everyone present nodded to show their understanding. Don't worry, no one blames you. Let's go find some humans now. Yes, if the environment changes, the creatures here will also change. I'm curious about the difference between here and outside. The 5 of them chatted while flying forward. Unknowingly, the Black Knight had fallen on the earth. The daytime seems to be getting shorter. Isaac Kuzen frowned and calculated. According to the altitude we came in, it's about 2 hours shorter than outside. At this moment, and as he suddenly pointed to the woods in front of him. Everyone, look ahead, there's smoke. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.